Out as Seattle's Quality Arms meet the heavy swingers of Boston. It's next on Fox.
Today in Seattle, we have a critical matchup as two of the American League's best teams meet at Safeco Field. The Red Sox are powered by an offense that is leading the majors in runs, hits, and batting average. We know about Nomar and Manny, but this year's Red Sox lineup is potent from top to bottom. The Mariners, however, are winning with a defense filled with gold and are on pace to set an all-time Major League record for fewest errors in a season. Major League Baseball on Fox is presented by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. And a beautiful day here in Seattle as we welcome you to Safeco Field, and a full house expected as the Boston Red Sox take on the Seattle Mariners. And welcome everyone to the Pacific Northwest. I'm Dick Stockton along with Steve Lyons. And the overall picture in the American League is like a game of musical chairs. Someone's going to remain standing when it's all over. In the East, the Yankees picked up a game on the Red Sox last night, and Seattle stretched their lead over the Oakland A's. And in the wild card battle, the Red Sox still have a one-game lead over the Oakland A's. And this looks like this is going to go down to the wire. And Steve, how do you see this one playing out before it's said and done?
Well, it's amazing because out of those 4 teams, you know that only 3 of these teams are going to make it into the playoffs. And let's just assume that the Yankees win the East, the Mariners win the West. That's the way it looks like to me right now. So the battle for the wild card is going to come down to these Red Sox and the Oakland A's. Well, if you like offense, pick the Red Sox because they knock the walls down. If you like pitching and defense, how do you not like the Oakland A's? The Red Sox are going to have to do 2 things better this year if they plan to be that wild card team. They have to pitch much better. They have to be a better team on the road. They're a sub-500 team on the road. Pedro's pitching today to try to get that starting pitching trend turned around for him.
And Steve, they're going to need him tonight after the Mariners won the start of the 3-game series last night. But Pedro, who has an incredible 10-0 record against the Seattle Mariners, will try to bring the Red Sox back today.
What do you call a chicken Caesar salad? When you lose the bowl, get it ready for the road, and put it on 2 of the biggest croutons you've ever seen? Burger King calls it the new Chicken Caesar Club, a salad in a sandwich. Come on over. The fire's ready.
There are ordinary disposable razors, but now there's new Sensor 3 from Gillette. Totally new handle, 3 blades, on springs that adjust to your face. No disposable shaves better. It could be the best disposable you ever threw away. New Gillette Sensor 3.
Let's say this is you. Yeah, you're the king. But being the king isn't always easy. So, when you're with Allstate, you'll have over 50,000 professionals to help protect you. From claims adjusters who can help you fix a broken castle, to emergency assistants to ride to your rescue, to lawyers that go to court with you if you need them, and your Allstate agent who knows the moves to help you. Helping you, the king, feel protected. Just one more way, you're in good hands with Allstate.
The Saturn Ion has plenty of passenger space if you're ready for that next big step. And 140 horsepower engine if you're not. And electric power steering if you are. And dent-resistant side panels if you need some time to think about it. Get a new 2003 Saturn Ion L Series review at 0% APR financing and $1,000 toward your down payment. For restrictions, see your retailer.
One man controls an empire.
My business is 100% legal.
One man is sworn to destroy it.
Every politician needs a target.
Let's take him down.
And their battle is about to get personal.
Now, can you imagine what will happen if the press gets a hold of this? The DA's son and the pornographer's daughter? If he laid a hand on her, so help me! You can't tell me not to see him!
From executive producer Jerry Bruckheimer.
You tell your son to keep his filthy hands off my daughter.
Skin, a new series coming soon to Fox.
And there is Ichiro taking the field with the rest of the Seattle Mariners to the cheers of the crowd. And an explosive night for Ichiro and the Mariners as he took it. Take a look at Pedro, who is waiting his turn in the Red Sox dugout. This is part of a 7-game road trip. The Red Sox splitting with Oakland, losing the first 2, taking the last 2, and then dropping last night's game with 2 more to go on the trip here in Seattle. And Joel Pinheiro, the 24-year-old right-hander born in Puerto Rico, very impressive with a 13-7 record, will face this starting lineup for the Boston Red Sox. And it's been shaken up at the 11th hour. Nomar Garcia-Parra scratched with back spasms. So Trot Nixon will lead off in right field. Bill Miller batting second at third base. David Ortiz moves up to third as the DH. Manny Ramirez, with a home run last night in a losing cause, is in left field. Kevin Millar will be at first. Jason Varitek behind the plate. Gabe Kapler again starts, will be in center field. Todd Walker will be the second baseman. And Damian Jackson, the versatile Damian Jackson, will take Nomar's place at shortstop.
He talked about the impressive record here, Dick, of Joel Pinheiro here, 13-7. He rattled off 8 straight wins, but is winless in his last 2 starts. He's one of the young guns that the Mariners have now. He throws a lot of pitches, averages more pitches than any other pitcher in the American League, 108 per start. Needs to get back on track as he's lost his last 2 outings. And a curveball is the key pitch for him. If he's getting this big overhand curve over, it could be a long day for the Boston Red Sox hitters.
Trying to get back on track after winning those 8 games in a row, as you mentioned. And leading off for the Red Sox will be Trot Nixon at right field. Grady Little saying that he'd rather have Nixon toward the bottom of the order to give it some strength down there, but he does have an outstanding on-base percentage, 9th in the American League. There is Grady Little, who said, look, when we left spring training, we wanted a team that would be in contention for a playoff berth late in the year, and that's what we have right now. So here is Nixon, the right fielder, who is 3 for 7 lifetime and an RBI against Pinheiro. He'll be followed by Bill Miller and David Ortiz. And the first pitch of the game, swung on and missed, strike 1, and we're underway.
Well, no question, Nixon would not be in this leadoff spot if Grady Little had his druthers. But of course, Johnny Damon out of the lineup with a tight hamstring, came out of last night's game, will probably be out at least until Tuesday.
No balls and 2 strikes as Pinheiro catches the outside corner. And Brett Boone also not in the lineup today for the Seattle Mariners. So a lot of the big guns starting the game on the bench. Pitch fouled off, and the count remains 0-2.
Well, Booney needed a day off. It's a good time to give him one. And, you know, guys tend to get a little bit of that Pedroism.
Bob Melvin, like Grady Little, a low-key manager, and that seems to work to a great extent. By the way, Boone hitting only 167 against Pedro. Not a bad game to have him sit out as the pitch comes in low, 1-2. There is Pedro Martinez, who has not had many decisions. In fact, he has had almost as many non-decisions as decisions for many reasons since he has been in there. Call, third strike, and Trot Nixon called out looking to start the game.
That's a pretty good pitch right here. Fastball, inner half of the plate. Nixon just can't pull the trigger on it. A little comebacker from Pinheiro. And Trot's going to go back to the dugout thinking, next time I'm going to have to let it ride on something like that.
Here's Bill Miller, who's having a career year. 15 homers and 61 runs batted in are a career high for him. He takes a strike on the inside corner. On deck will be David Ortiz. So the Red Sox send up 3 left-handed hitters against Pinheiro here in the first. A line shot to the opposite field as Miller goes the other way and is on first with the first hit of the game. Well, last night, Bill Miller trying to get over on a foul fly, and this was significant. This was Ichiro and a foul ball, and Miller coming on over could not handle it. And why was that significant as you take a look at the play again? Because Ichiro, getting a second light, blasted a grand slam home run to break open the game, his second grand slam of the season and his career, as the Mariners won 10-5. Miller, by the way, suffered an injury a couple of years ago on a similar play, and many people think he might have been aware of that, going over for that kind of a foul pop. Ortiz, the batter, fouls off the first pitch for a strikeout of play. Ortiz, the designated hitter, hitting .279 with 16 homers, 61 runs batted in, and a strong, aggressive hitters to all fields.
Well, this is a guy who the Twins kind of gave up on because he was getting beat by fastballs in. Ron Jackson, the hitting coach for the Red Sox, Papa Jack, changed him a little bit, opened his stance up a little bit. He was so close that he couldn't get to that inside fastball. And now he's hitting that pitch a lot better and went through a string where he had 12 straight extra base hits.
Hitting .301 against right-handers. Swings and misses on a good changeup by Pinheiro, who's ahead of Ortiz. A ball and 2 strikes.
We watch the bottom drop out of this pitch. He swings right through it.
Pinheiro, 24 years old, attended high school in Orlando, Florida, where he married his high school sweetheart. There's a drive hit to right field, and Ichiro comes over to make the catch for out number 2. So Miller returns to first base, 2 out, and Manny Ramirez coming up. And the high school sweetheart became his wife, and there is Shirley Pinheiro, who's trying to see her husband perhaps break out of his 2-game pitching slump, coming in with an impressive 13-7 record on the season. So here is Manny Ramirez. Hit a home run last night as the Red Sox lost, but a couple of days ago sent the Red Sox into extra innings in a big game in Oakland with a home run in the 9th inning. First pitch in there for a strike. Ramirez has had good success against Pinheiro. He is 5 for 6 with a home run and 3 runs batted in. Miller has the short lead at first base, 2 out, and the pitch is lined sharply to center field, and going back is Randy Wynn, and he's got plenty of room to make the catch to retire the side. The Red Sox get a hit and lead 1, so it's the Red Sox nothing, the Mariners coming to bat.
As any military man worth his salt will tell you, the choice of artillery will vary from operation to operation. Consider a daylight maneuver with a strong civilian presence. Here you'll find the manual calls for a lighter ordnance. Mission accomplished. Sometimes the light way is the right way to live the high life.
It's the winning season for the Hyundai Sonata, ranked most appealing entry midsize car by J.D. Power & Associates. Protected by America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. $2,100 less than a Toyota Camry when comparably equipped. And now get an extra $1,000 cash back. The Hyundai Sonata starting at just $15,839 after $1,000 cash back. You're the winner at the Hyundai Winning Season Clearance. Going on now at your Hyundai dealer.
I've made a lot of news on the baseball diamond, but if you want to find out about this diamond, you gotta go talk to your doctor.
Ready to try Viagra for the first time? See your doctor and find out if a free sample's right for you.
My doctor says it's right for me. That's why I stay with it. For more information, go to Viagra.com.
Major League Baseball on Fox, presented by Radio Shack, is brought to you by Viagra. Step up to the plate and ask your doctor if a free sample of Viagra is right for you. And by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly, this is the High Life. So Pedro Martinez taking his warm-up tosses as we give you the Seattle Mariners starting lineup. Ichiro will lead off, leading the American League in batting. Ray Sanchez, who's been a savior since coming over for the Mets, bats second at shortstop. Randy Wynn will be at center field hitting third, and Edgar Martinez, ageless, the DH, batting cleanup. John Olerud will be at first base hitting fifth, and Mark McLemore in the 6th spot. John Mabry getting a start today will be in left field. Dan Wilson, veteran catcher, and Willie Bloomquist, the rookie, at third base batting ninth.
Well, look at the numbers on Pedro Martinez. Pretty surprising, really, with the 8-3 record. Pedro has 10 no decisions this year. The bullpen has blown 5 games that he came out of the game winning, but they ended up losing.
And his first pitch to Ichiro is a strike. Not only that, but he has not gotten any support. Ichiro, who we mentioned, 342, leading the league. Red Sox have averaged only a little more than a run a game for Pedro over 13 games since coming off the disabled list. Ichiro taking inside 1-1. Third baseman Miller playing on the grass inside. The fastball riding inside, and it's 2-1.
Dick, the thing that makes Pedro so devastating for hitters is that his arm angle is the same on every pitch he throws. Got that riding fastball, good breaking ball, great changeup, and you can't tell the difference between any of them because he doesn't change his arm angle at all. He's got that 3/4 delivery. You look at the scouting report on Pedro. He's got to stop the bleeding. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games. He's the best competitor on the mound. We talked about that great changeup. Really tough to pick up.
2-2 pitch, and Ichiro fouls it off, and Martinez losing for the first time in 13 starts Monday night. Of course, Tim Hudson threw a brilliant 2-hitter, shutting out the Red Sox. Was on the disabled list late in May with a strained lower back. Came back in the middle of June. Here's the 2-2, and it rides inside and all the way to the backstop. And now they say Ichiro was hit by the pitch. Home plate umpire Steve Ripley, who's the crew chief. And Ichiro, the leadoff hitter, is on for the Mariners here in the first.
Well, Pedro's never afraid to go in on somebody. That breaking ball misses badly and hits Ichiro right on the top of his right foot. Pedro probably figuring, hey, if I'm going to hit Ichiro at all, I might as well hit him in the legs, maybe slow him down on that base path a little bit. But this is the wrong guy to be putting on the bases.
And Bob Melvin says that the one thing he can do is to try to maybe get some base runners on, maybe a run early, and make Martinez throw a lot of pitches. Not many opportunities you have against him. The lead at first by Ichiro, and the pitch is a call strike to Ray Sanchez. Ichiro with 28 stolen bases, 4th in the American League, and Sanchez, since coming over from the Mets late in July, has done extremely well for Seattle, hitting .327.
This guy has been a guy that can pick it any place he's ever played. They're real surprised with the offense that they're getting out of him.
And the pitch rides high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Carlos Guillen on the disabled list. And the word from the Mariners is when Guillen does come back, Sanchez will remain at shortstop, and Guillen will perhaps move to third base. That's how successful the 35-year-old Sanchez has been.
Jeff Cirillo on the DL as well, about ready to come off, has struggled this season. Their normal third baseman. That's why Bloomquist is over there and has been for a while.
1-1 pitch. Again, the slider is outside, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Center fielder Gabe Kapler not playing deep for Sanchez.
Well, Sanchez comes here to the Mariners with no home runs. Ottawa, Canada has more power than Sanchez.
This is a gap hitter's delight. Going north of the border there with a little reference. And the pitch line to right field for a base hit. Ichiro was running on the pitch. He'll go to third base, and Sanchez with the hit and run base hit, and the Mariners with nobody out have runners at the corners.
There's a little interference out there between Jackson and Ichiro round in second base. You watch the ball. Watch Ichiro coming around second. No way is he stopping, but watch this. Jackson's in his way. Umpire's right on top of the call. You watch the umpire right here. He'll see what's going on. Points it out as soon as he sees it. No big deal. Everybody's safe. He would have been awarded third base anyway. You're not slowing that guy down, even if you hit him on the foot with a pitch.
But for some reason, if he had gone back to second, he would have been awarded third base.
Yes, he would. If he really ran into him and broke his stride and had to stop, or he thought he wouldn't be able to make it because of that, interference would have been called.
So once again, even with Pedro on the mound, the Red Sox starting pitcher having his early problems, and the Mariners with runners at first and third and nobody out. And here is Randy Wynn, the switch hitting center fielder. He takes a pitch in for a strike. Wynn playing center field. Mike Cameron, who is out with a groin injury. So the Mariners miss his 16 homers and 68 runs batted in, and Wynn, normally a left fielder, playing the center field as he did with Tampa Bay last year. You saw the runners at the corners. Ichiro at third, Sanchez at first, and a high fly ball hit to medium center field. Ichiro tagging up, and Kapler makes the catch, and the throw will go into second base, and Ichiro will score, and the Mariners take a 1-0 lead here in the first inning. For Wynn, an RBI sacrifice fly, his 58th run-driven in of the year.
We saw this same situation in last week's ball game in New York, a short fly ball, but because it's Ichiro, there is no way that he's not going to try to score on that play. He will challenge anybody's arm, anytime, on any fly ball in the outfield. Now you see the synced up cameras there. Ichiro going at the same time the ball's caught. They don't even try to throw the ball to home plate because there's no way you're going to get him.
So 1 out now for the Mariners, and cleanup hitter Edgar Martinez, the batter. So Randy Wynn does his job, and the Mariners have been getting a lot, moving runners over, giving themselves up. And here is Martinez, the classic designated hitter, takes a call strike on the outside corner.
Well, you got to give a lot of credit to Bob Melvin as you look at the numbers that this guy just continues to put up. He's talked about retiring this year, but he has now said that he'll see how he feels in the offseason because, shoot, he's going to drive in 100 again.
Fifth in on-base percentage. Quintessential DH. A professional hitter.
One of the prettiest right-handed swings you'll ever see in the game. Great opposite field hitter. Inside-out swing.
3 for 19 against Pedro, but Martinez has a good batting eye. He has walked 6 times against Martinez. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out. Red Sox looking for the ground ball and the possible double play. Martinez, of course, not much speed. Red Sox looking to get out with only 1 run. Is a bounding ball to third. Miller going over to second for 1, and the easy double play will retire the side. But the Mariners get a run, and after 1 here at Safeco Field, as the sun continues to splash, 1-0 in favor of the Mariners.
A recent test put motor oils to a punishing comparison involving extreme heat and stress beyond anything a car would ever face. The contestants, Castrol Syntec versus the leading 5W30 conventional oil.
Bob, what are the readings on the other car?
In the end, under these grueling conditions, Castrol Syntec performed better. Castrol Syntec. Everything else is just motor oil.
Let's say this is you. Yeah, you're the king. But being the king isn't always easy. So, when you're with Allstate, you'll have over 50,000 professionals to help protect you. From claims adjusters who can help you fix a broken castle, to emergency assistants to ride to your rescue, to lawyers that go to court with you if you need them, and your Allstate agent who knows the moves to help you. Helping you, the king, feel protected. Just one more way, you're in good hands.
I should have used Preparation H.
Cool it fast with new Preparation H cooling gel. Now with vitamin E and aloe. Cools on contact for fast relief. New Preparation H cooling gel with vitamin E and aloe.
On this island, you only need 3 things to survive: sunscreen, a bathing suit, and the ability to say no.
I just want to go home.
Temptation Island 3, Thursday, August 28th on Fox. Parental discretion advised.
Kevin Millar leading off for the Red Sox takes the fastball inside, ball 1, as we start the 2nd inning, and the Red Sox in a 1-0 hole as the Seattle Mariners jumping up on Martinez with a run in the first. And 2-0. Pinheiro in the first inning had 4 first pitch strikes against the 4 batters he faced, but is behind 2-0 to Kevin Millar. And there's a fly ball hit to left field into the sun. On the warning track is Mabry looking up, and it's gone, a home run. Kevin Millar with what looked to be a typical Fenway Park high arching fly ball, hitting a home run to tie the game at 1-1 for Millar. That is his 21st home run of the year. The Red Sox have 5 different players with 20 or more home runs.
Now, this is a guy who has brought so much enthusiasm to this team. This is not your father's Red Sox ball club anymore. A lot of fun in the clubhouse. This guy is responsible for a lot of it. That's just a fastball right down Broadway. He's thinking that he's hitting in Fenway right there. Getting it up and over the top of the fence. He's also brought a ton of offense, a lot of enthusiasm. He's like a utility guy that keeps teams loose, but he's also one of your major cogs in the lineup as well.
And here's Jason Varitek, the catcher. 2 balls and no strikes. Kevin Millar is valuable in that clubhouse. You know, you come out with that smile. You were talking with him last night before the game. And one of the big reasons why the Red Sox probably have the closest unit they've ever had. You know, the old story of 25 players, 25 cabs, no longer the case. This is a group with a lot of chemistry.
He said, you know, out of 25 guys, there's like 24 of them that are great. And I said, well, who's the guy who's not? And he kind of looked around, and I said, hey, if you can't identify that one, you better look in the mirror yourself. You may be the guy.
Career year for Millar with the home runs, and now Varitek fouls off a fastball, and the count is full to the Red Sox switch hitting catcher. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Varitek certainly one of the true unsung heroes. Look at the numbers compared to a year ago. He has raised his game more than a notch, and a cold third strike on the inside corner. And Piñeiro's fastball riding in on the left-handed batter. That is the second strikeout, second cold third strike, and there's 1 away.
And it's time for today's Sprint Virtual Manager question. Here it is. What is Dick Stockton's greatest call? Would it be the 75 World Series home run by Carlton Fisk, Emmett Smith's rushing record? How about the Norway Winter Olympics, or asking Leslie Visser to marry him? Just answer the question. Use that PCS Vision phone. I got to get right on here and log on. You can log on to foxsports.com if you want to. Let me.
You can vote.
I'm voting for Leslie right now.
You may be the only one that votes. 2 balls and no strikes to Gabe Kapler. I tell you what, I met Leslie before the 6th game of the World Series when Fisk hit the home run, and she likes to say it wasn't even the best thing to happen to him that day, meeting me.
Yeah.
There's a fly ball to right field, and going over is Ichiro to make the catch, and Kapler is retired, and there are 2 down here in the Red Sox 2nd inning.
And you know, I would, if you're a smart guy, you don't even try to answer that question, because you know the whole 75 home run and everything, that was great, but you know, Leslie might be listening to the game.
That's right. And you know, the thing is, for the Red Sox, and talk about here we go again, I mean, that was a great moment for Boston fans, but the next night, 4-3 loss in Game 7. That's why I haven't won a World Series in 85 years, and trying to find a way to end all of that.
75, your first year with the Red Sox club. First year of doing baseball, was it not?
Yes, it was. What a way to come in, and I was still awake at 12:30 in the morning when Fisk hit the home run.
I would think you were awake for a few hours after that. Right. Would have been tough to go to sleep after that game.
Maybe a few days. Todd Walker, the Red Sox second baseman, hitting 8th in the lineup. Count 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 out. Breaking ball fouled out of play to the left.
Walker had a throwing error in last night's ball game. He struggled at the plate for the last month and a half. He says, right now I'm hitting a lot of atom balls. Not hitting the ball that poorly, but I can't find a break.
High and tight. 2-2 to Todd Walker. Walker hitting .290 before the All-Star game, has dropped to .210 since, has struggled a bit. Off the fists, rolls it to Sanchez, who makes the play to retire the side. So the leadoff homer by Millar ties the game for the Red Sox 1-1.
There it goes, a long drive. If it stays fair, home run.
These people are getting answers to the most important questions they'll ever ask. Questions about their health. They're finding those answers in a single place. WebMD. 16 million people come to WebMD every month. They find vital information that used to be scattered in 100 locations, now all in one place. The place America comes for healthcare answers. A place called WebMD.
You like that lunch? Hey, hon, how are you? We're good. You know us, up at the crack of dawn, right on schedule, no fooling around. In fact, gotta go. Real busy here, and Dip says hi.
You kind of have to know.
I feel like I kind of do.
Picture mail that talks from Sprint. Now at Sprint stores, get great deals on a wide selection of PCS Vision picture phones starting at $99.99. Share it when it happens.
If an 80,000-seat stadium can have a retractable roof, if a 60,000 horsepower submarine can run silently, if a 2-year-old can have 4-wheel steering, why can't you? At GMC, our engineers don't just ask questions, they have answers. GMC professional-grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
Before Tuesday's all-new episode of The OC, get caught up with a special encore.
What are you doing with my girlfriend?
The OC, 8/7 Central on Fox, Monday.
Major League Baseball on Fox, presented by Radio Shack, is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Puget Sound here in the Pacific Northwest. Overcast skies early in the day. And the sun now out full. In fact, Grady Little was saying, I kind of hope it stays overcast because with the background here, it'd be better to pick up the ball. So he was aware of that.
And they have really changed the background here. A lot of the hitters have complained. This is all colored in black now. Used to be much more difficult to see when the sun was up in the sky. A lot of glare off of that. A lot of hitters said they were literally uncomfortable hitting at the plate in any type of a day game situation.
John Olerud taking a strike. In fact, Brett Boone, they put some cedar trees up, was vocal about the background. Breaking ball going the opposite way is Olerud, and coming over making the one-handed catch is Manny Ramirez. Ramirez with the ability to lope, knowing he has it all the way. Looks like he's casual, but he has improved his defense considerably.
He has improved, and I'll tell you, a lot of Red Sox fans out there, with, you know, when he lopes like that, they start to worry. Get over there, Manny. Come on.
What are you worried about? He says, look, I've made those before, and he's made some tough catches over toward the left field line. Here's Mark McLemore.
When Manny wants to play, especially defensively, he can be very, very good out there. The tough part has been motivating him defensively. Grady Little has been great at it. They get along very well. You don't have to motivate him too much when he comes to the dish.
One out to Mark McLemore. Swings and misses on the Martinez changeup. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Pedro, whose ERA is under 1 in his career against Seattle, already has surpassed that number with that run in the first inning coming on a sacrifice fly. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's lined foul down the right field line. McLemore, by the way, coming off a banner game, 4 for 4 on Friday night. And he continues to impress with his versatility, Steve, hitting .285, and he has had more than a measure of success against Pedro.
And he's a guy, too, that's been fairly vocal about the fact that he wants a little bit more playing time. He's always been one of those super sub kind of guys that gets to play 4 or 5 times a week. But this year, playing a lot less. Now with the injuries to Cameron, back in there with a 4-hit game last night. But he has said, you know, I'm too late in my career to be sitting down again. I want to get out there. I want to play.
38-year-old native of San Diego, California. The 1-2 from Martinez. Check swing. And they appeal, and he's called out. Third base umpire Gary Darling said that McLemore went around, and McLemore and the crowd disagree.
So does Bob Melvin. You watch this pitch by Pedro. Down and away. Took the bat off his shoulder. I guess that was enough for Gary Darling.
So there's 1 away, and Martinez with the strikeout. He's trailing Roger Clemens 2 away, and Clemens moved ahead by 4 strikeouts with his performance last night against the Orioles. Martinez had led the league, and a call strike to John Mabry. Martinez now with 156 strikeouts, 3 behind Roger Clemens. 2 down, nobody on. The 0-1 pitch grounded to first base. Kevin Millar makes the play unassisted. A 1-2-3 inning for Pedro. We've completed 2.
Parcells and the Cowboys, Bettis and the Steelers. It's a Fox NFL preseason special Thursday.
So many things to do, so little time. Better get your priorities in order. First things first, the 2003 Honda Clearance. It only happens once a year, and it's gone before you know it. Get special APR financing as low as 2.9% for up to 60 months on the all-new 2003 Accord. Life can wait. first things first.
I have spent a weekend in Vegas
without a hotel room.
I have driven 150 miles
for 3 rolled tacos.
I've given a toast at a wedding
that I wasn't even invited to.
I have French kissed a French woman.
I have called shotgun 11 hours before a road trip.
I've eaten condiments as a meal.
I have dated Carmen Electra's cousins,
friends,
sister.
Grab a friend and go. We've great fares from United. Every one of our destinations is now on sale until August 24th. Call 1-800-UNITED-1, visit united.com, or contact your travel professional today.
The heat is turning up on the Jeep Summer Sales Drive during the special 72-hour event, featuring incredible bonus deals on new Jeep vehicles, like no extra charge lube oil and filter changes for 3 to 7 years, with a choice of no monthly payments until 2004 and cash allowances up to $3,000, or 0% APR financing. Plus, get our 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty on them all. But you've got to hurry, because this special 72-hour deal ends Monday, August 18th.
David Wade, Maria Stefanos, Fox 25 News at 10.
Dick Stockton and Steve Lyons here at Safeco Field in Seattle. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. Damian Jackson, the number 9 hitter, takes a call strike from Joel Pinheiro. Jackson celebrating his 30th birthday today, and a late installation at shortstop with Nomar scratched because of back spasms. The slider misses by Pinheiro to count 1-1.
Grady Little really jumbled up that lineup after Garcia-Parra went out. A bunch of guys switching places in the order, and Jackson into the lineup at short.
Two balls and 1 strike to Jackson, followed by the top of the order Trot Nixon, and the pitch inside, and Pinheiro falling behind 3 balls and 1 strike. Coming into the game, Pinheiro with good control, walking only 61 batters in 160 innings. Swing and a miss, and the count is full.
That's one of the things that we talked about with Pinheiro, throwing more pitches than anybody in the league. Doesn't walk a lot of guys, but he goes 3-2 to a lot of hitters. A guy like Jackson hitting down in the order, not a lot of pop. You got to go after him a little better than this.
And Jackson fouls it off, and the count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes. There is Shirley Pinheiro, young son who's wearing a Seattle Mariners road uniform here at Safeco. Pinheiro 2-0 lifetime against the Red Sox. They have not seen him much, however, and another breaking ball fouled back. And the count remains 3-2, and they're really taken by that doll over there.
Yeah, he could care less about his old man pitching. I should know what character that is, but I don't. I'm staring at the thing now.
Yeah, I'm not even watching the field anymore. I better look. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and the ball looped into center field for a base hit. So Damian Jackson leading off the 3rd inning with a base hit for the Red Sox, and we asked Pinheiro to give us his own personal scouting report on his abilities.
If I have a good fastball, a good breaking ball, would be a good sign. You know, my ball has a good downward, action, because I'm very over the top pitcher. So if you see that my ball's got good sink and it's going down, that's a good sign.
Yeah, that's a good sign for a lot of guys. And as he says, being a straight over the top guy, his fastball has to be down in the strike zone in order to be effective. You get that downward plane, and then that helps the elevation of his breaking ball at the same time. Change the hitter's eye, what he's looking for. Makes it a lot more difficult to hit.
Here is Trot Nixon called out on strikes to lead off the game for the Red Sox. We're tied 1-1. Diving back is Damian Jackson, who has 14 stolen bases in 21 attempts this year.
Nixon having a career season this year. Different placement of his hands. Papa Jack came in. He saw a lot of the guys, Veritek included, with their hands way back, too far behind their body, not in a good hitting position, so he made subtle changes with Nixon and Varitek. Varitek says, now I have a plan every day. That's what's made me a better hitter. You'll watch, his hands used to be way back in behind his body. Now they're up closer to his head. Much shorter, compact swing.
He was way out in front of that off-speed pitch by Pinheiro. The count 1-1.
You watch where his hands were. He used to have his hands way back into that area. Now much closer. His uppercut swing right there didn't come up with it. A good chance that Nixon will end up with a career high in home runs. He's got 22 right now. His career high is 27. And RBIs.
Call strike on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Trot Nixon. The Oakland A's underway against the Toronto Blue Jays. And Nixon having a big year, hitting .310 compared to what he was a season ago, and pops this one up in foul territory. And Wilson watches it go out of play. Great crowds, and they have had great crowds here at Safeco since it started in 1999. They had the largest crowd of the year last night, Steve, 46,171, and they have led the majors in attendance last 2 years, trailing the Yankees by ever so little, but this has become a place to be.
They love their baseball up here with the new stadium. We could close the roof when it's bad weather. They've had a great summer, very dry summer.
Throw to first base, not much of a lead for Jackson as he gets back.
I think this is a time, Dick, where they should be a little bit more aggressive. Jackson with 14 stolen bases on the year. You're in a breaking ball count to Nixon. Cut him loose. Let him go.
There you see Jackson, one of the few Red Sox base runners, double figures in steals, and he bounds it foul. And you know, this was always been by tradition, and you would know, a station to station club built primarily for Fenway Park. But in June this year, they had some batting problems, and they were able, you know, to be a little resourceful. They did play a little hit and run, did steal a little bit. So this is not strictly just wait on first base. They do have the ability to get the offense going in several ways, as they showed during the season. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and once again fouled off Nixon off the end of the bat, and the count remains 1-2.
This is a different team offensively now. Theo Epstein, a lot of people talk about him coming in as the new general manager, the youngest general manager in all of baseball, not even 30 years old yet. But the guys that he has brought in have been excellent guys, hungry players, mid-tier free agents, guys like Bill Miller, guys like Millar, guys that have come in and had great seasons for them offensively and have changed the face of this team.
Yeah, Ortiz.
Ortiz, exactly the same.
Another big addition, although in talking to Theo Epstein last night, he says, I'm 29 years old, but you notice here he had some gray hair.
Yeah, he's the only GM in the league that puts gray in his hair to try to look older.
Runner goes, the ball hit deep to center field, and going back is Randy Wynn on the warning track, and he makes the catch. Deep drive by Trot Nixon, and going back to first base is Damian Jackson. And right now, for a report on the A's contest, here's Jeannie Zolasco with a game break.
And you know what they say, objects in the rearview mirror are closer than they appear, like the A's. Jose Guillen starts his day versus Toronto with a solo home run, 3rd since joining Oakland. And Mark Ellis added a 3-run shot. It is 5-1 Oakland. Great to hear your voice, Mr. Stockton. Oh, you too, Steve.
Jeannie, thanks very much. I've been watching you guys do it when you were with Jeannie in the studio and out doing games. She has done a terrific job, and I'm glad we're on the same wavelength and the same broadcast on Fox Major League Baseball today.
Well, I'll tell you, Dick, it's just great to finally get a chance to work with a pro.
We won't tell Tom Brenneman. I hope he's working today, so he's not watching this game. Bill Miller takes a fastball for a strike. Jeannie's highlight on the A's, they're trying to break a 3-game losing streak in Oakland. That pitch missing, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Bill Miller. Miller with a base hit to the opposite field, his first time up.
This ballpark plays so big, a little bit shorter in the daytime. The ball jumps a little bit better, but I only think there may only be one other ballpark in baseball that ball that Nixon hit doesn't get out of, and that may be Comerica Park in Detroit.
Throw to first, diving back is Jackson, just getting back.
Now you talk about a lot of the guys that played on this ball club here with the Mariners when they came over to Safeco Field that are not here now, and it's my opinion that partially the reason King Griffey Jr. isn't here anymore is because this ballpark's so big. and Alex Rodriguez a deciding factor. He told me it was the biggest park in the game as far as the way it plays.
The runner goes, and on the hit and run, the ball fouled down the right field line. So Jackson was running on the pitch, and Miller fouls it off, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Little split screen there on the long deep fly ball. You see Jackson getting all the way to second base. Now he retags and goes back, knows that he's got plenty of time to get back on the deep fly ball by Nixon.
1 and 2 and 1 out, and obviously the Red Sox are not content in just waiting for the big hit. They have had Jackson on the move here in this 3rd inning. 1-1 the score. Mariners and the Red Sox. Pitch in tight. 2 and 2.
Dick, I just think you have to take advantage of whatever speed that you have in there. The Red Sox are not known for stolen bases. Johnny Damon, now with the tight hamstring, leads the team by far. But Jackson with 14, when he gets a chance to play, he's got to be aggressive.
Well, 2 of their better speedsters, Nomar and Johnny Damon, out of action today, which hampers them somewhat in that department. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The Mariners infield, a double play death. There goes the runner, and the pitch fouled off again. So Jackson again goes back to first base, and Miller doing a good job of getting a piece of it.
And one of the other moves that Epstein also made, when you look at this guy at the plate, Billy Miller, who was on the ball club. Shea Hillenbrand was a third baseman. They were split in time. They decided Miller was the guy, and they pick up Byung-Hyun Kim from the Arizona Diamondbacks, who has been an outstanding pitcher for this team and will be continuing on, just 24 years old.
Runner does not go. Pitch in the dirt, and a good stop by Dan Wilson, and the count is 3 and 2 and 1 out. So you would figure that Damian Jackson will be off on this pitch. 3 and 2, 1 out. Bill Miller checking with third base coach Mike Cubbage. Joel Pinheiro trying to end a 2-game losing streak after winning 8 in a row, and he has thrown a lot of pitches thus far, 51 thus far.
Pinheiro likes to go to his curveball in this situation, but with a guy running, it's tougher to do that.
Another foul ball, and Jackson was off again. She says, can't Dad get that 3rd strike?
Come on, Dad, strike him out, throw him out.
Can't the dog get a 3rd strike? Someday when he's older, he's going to say, I remember when my father beat the Red Sox on a August afternoon
and I sat in the stands and cried.
Again, it's 3 and 2, and Jackson is off, and another foul ball. So a good at bat for Bill Miller here in a 1-1 game here in the top of the 3rd. And here are the struggles that Joel Pinheiro has experienced lately, Steve.
Boy, that 8-0 record that he rattled off, but look at the ERA since July 31st, the record.
And Pinheiro leads the American League, averaging 108 pitches a game. 3 balls and 2 strikes again, and going over to first base to keep an eye on Jackson is Joel Pinheiro.
They have a better chance of strike him out, throw him out now, because Jackson's tired. He's tried an attempt at steal 5 times in this at-bat. Had to come back each time.
1 out, runner at first. There goes Jackson, and the pitch hit in the air down the left field line. Coming over is John Mabry, but it'll drift into the crowd. And once again, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 10th pitch will be coming up from Joel Pinheiro, so he's getting quite a workout from Bill Miller here in the top of the 3rd inning.
It's just a great at-bat by Miller, making Pinheiro work, and even if he makes an out here, you force Pinheiro to throw more and more pitches, which makes it tougher and tougher to go deeper into the ball game. You get into the Seattle pen.
3 and 2. Jackson may be getting a little tired. He's off, and the pitch hit off the fist, foul out of play. And going back is Jackson. We have seen this. We don't even need a replay on this 3-2 situation, because we've seen 7 or 8 of them.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Well, he wants the bottle, and I think he's going to get some refreshment right here. Bill Miller, by the way, a banner game for him late in July when he became the first player in Major League history to hit a grand slam from each side of the plate. Last player with 2 grand slams in the same game was his teammate Nomar Garciaparra against these Mariners 4 years ago. So Ortiz has been very patient, waiting in the on-deck circle. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Jackson goes, and the pitch line down the right field line, and it's a foul ball. Very close. And that's the closest that Miller has gotten to keep that ball in fair territory.
He's tried every other foul line. He's tried half the people in the stands. He's given a lot of people some souvenirs. And he's having a tremendous at-bat. This ball down and in. Miller just shooting it out of there. Can't keep it between the lines. Not such a great play by the fans down there either.
Jackson going back to first base. So Joel Pinheiro.
Wilson's begging to throw Jackson out here.
Miller keeps getting his bat on the ball. You know the situation. You can fill in the blanks. Runner goes, base hit to right field, and Jackson will go to third. A huge at-bat for Bill Miller and the Boston Red Sox with runners at first and third and 1 out in a tie game. And now it's time for today's RadioShack.com trivia question. Who was the last player not from the West Division to win the American League MVP award? Put your thinking caps on. So Miller is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles, and that brings up David Ortiz, who fly to right his first time. Got any thoughts on the question? Yeah.
I don't know. I could go. I don't know. I'm never good at this. I'd say someone like Frank Thomas in the Central, but that was a long time ago for the MVP years for him.
Ortiz fouls off the fastball for a strike. Red Sox, who trailed 1-0 on a sacrifice fly in the first inning by Randy Wynn, tying it up on the home run by Kevin Millar, trying to forge in front here.
But if you're a smart fan listening to the game and you can't be misled by my ignorance, you might pick someone from one of the teams that's playing here today.
Ortiz way behind on that fastball. A good heater thrown by Pinheiro, who's head of Ortiz now. No balls and 2 strikes. Is that a big hint?
Just a little one. Yes. Ortiz blown away with that one.
So Seattle's in the West. So now we're going to narrow it down. Let me think. There's a drive hit to the gap in right center field, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Scoring is Jackson. Miller will be waved in, and here comes the throw to the plate, and safe at home is Bill Miller. A double for David Ortiz, and the Red Sox have now taken a 3-1 lead here in the third.
Know if Mark McLemore thought that he'd actually have a play at the plate. He did not go out to take the relay throw very far into the outfield. Watch, he's coming back into the infield. He's only about 10 to 15 feet off the infield cut. That throw up the line a little bit, and that's what makes Miller safe. You see Wilson trying to block the plate. He has to go away from his position to make the play, and Miller easily safe.
And Brian Price, the Mariners pitching coach, out to the mound to talk to Pinheiro. So Pinheiro, who had his shortest outing of the year 2 starts ago against the Cleveland Indians, trying to get things straightened up right here.
And Ortiz just does not know how to hit a single. This guy's just an extra base hit master.
And they've done it this way all year.
You look at the Major League offensive ranks for the Red Sox offense, first in almost every category there is. They're relentless at the plate.
Conference continues at the mound, broken up by Steve Ripley, who goes out there.
There's Miller with a little hesitation, trying to make sure that ball does get into the gap. And then after he turns on the afterburners, you're not going to get him. And Dick, in my opinion right there, that's not a place to hesitate. Miller should go quickly off the base, and then if he thinks the ball's going to get caught, then slow down and come back. Your first reaction should be taken off.
Because he's not going to get doubled off easily, even if the catch is made. As the breaking pitch is in for a strike to Manny Ramirez. Ortiz now with 63 runs batted in. The Red Sox with 2 here in the third, in what was advertised as perhaps a great pitching duel, and already it's 3-1. And we're in the top of the third. Manny fly to center field his first trip. Ramirez with the 29 homers at 86 runs batted in. Bounding ball through the hole into left field for a base hit. Ortiz had to hold up to see if the ball went through. He'll stop at third. And the Red Sox, with their 4th hit of the inning, have runners at first and third and 1 out. And as of yet, no activity in the Seattle bullpen.
Boy, that was a strange play there, Dick. Watch Ramirez after he swings the bat. This ball's going to bound into the outfield. Watch him look towards the Mariner dugout. Saying something to somebody there. Now, I know that he wanted Ortiz to maybe score on that ball, but no way can Ortiz do it. He's got to make sure that ball gets through into the outfield. Ramirez was looking all around, talking to a bunch of people on his way down to first.
So the batter now is Kevin Millar. And the first pitch to him a strike. Millar with a leadoff home run last inning and a new career high with 21 homers and a pretty solid season for Kevin Millar. Fly ball that just landed in the early rows in left field. Check swing, and they appeal. It's taken for a ball.
There's a home run by Millar in the second inning. Just hammers a fastball down the middle. What energy that this guy brings. I mean, he's really close to being certifiable, this kid.
And you would know.
Yeah, exactly.
Fastball
Good friend of mine.
2 balls and 1 strike, but we won't bring up any past activities. No sense of that.
Guy just absolutely has a lot of fun. He knows how to play the game right, and he's not afraid to get in someone's face if they're not doing it. And he learned that down in Florida.
2-1 with 1 out. Runners at first and third. Off-speed breaking ball, and the count is 3-1. So Pinheiro in danger of loading the bases with 1 out here. And tell you what, you have to go back to Bill Miller's great at-bat.
Yeah.
As he fended off many 3-2 pitches with a runner at first, the hit and run on, and finally got a base hit to send Jackson to third, and then a double and a single to follow.
12th pitch at bat, and this lineup just keeps coming at you.
67th pitch of the game, and a fly ball out to center field. Randy Wynn makes the catch, tagging up is Ortiz. He will score, and the Red Sox have taken a 4-1 lead. So Kevin Millar gets the run in, his 75th run batted in of the year.
Millar was a guy who was a free agent. Florida Marlins decided not to re-sign him. He had signed a deal to go play in Japan. When the Red Sox came calling, he found a way to get out of that deal in Japan. He said, if I can still play here, this is where I want to be, and he's been a great addition to this team.
And Grady Little talking last night, he said, you know, since Theo Epstein has come aboard, we talk about player moves. He says, last year I didn't always have a say in the kind of moves that we would make. So everyone was working in their own department, perhaps, but Grady very happy with the cooperation. And in all fairness, Theo Epstein has a lot of help, too. He's got some great people working behind him. Can't do it alone. 1-0 pitch, breaking inside to Jason Varitek, and the count 2-0. Varitek took a called third strike last inning. There you see Pinheiro, 39 pitches in the third inning as Pedro gets a long rest in the dugout, preparing for the bottom of the third, and most of those were against Bill Miller. Called strike to Varitek, and it's 2-1.
Varitek, another one of those guys already with his career high, tied his career high in home runs this season. The 72 RBIs, his career high is 76. He'll easily pass that. He says it's all about having a plan at the plate.
And a popular player, he was the Internet All-Star since Major League Baseball created online fan voting last year for All-Star game selections. Jason Varitek was picked this year. And Johnny Damon, another Red Sox player who's out today nursing a hamstring pull, was picked last year. Fly ball to center field. Starting back was Randy Wynn, coming in, and he makes the catch to retire the side. But the Red Sox get 3 runs to break the tie on 4 hits, and in the middle of the third inning, Red Sox in front 4-1.
Now Gillette presents the Mach 3 Turbo Close Shave Play of the Week.
This is hit high in the air to left center field. This will send Damon back to the track at the wall. He jumps and he makes the catch. Johnny Damon in left center field. He's been spectacular as a member of the Red Sox, and he does it again out there.
This Close Shave Play of the Week brought to you by Gillette's Mach 3 Turbo.
Tune in each week to Fox Saturday Baseball.
Something incredible is happening to guys everywhere. They're defying gravity. Mach 3 Turbo. total comfort whether you shave down or up. An anti-friction coating on all 3 blades, plus a strip with more lubrication. So even against the grain, you get less irritation and the closest shave. Can your razor do this?
Unbelievable.
Mach 3 Turbo from Gillette, the best a man can get. Now win a VIP trip to a World Series game. See special Mach 3 Turbo packs.
Since Cal Ripken's family got their new HP digital photography system from Radio Shack, things just haven't been the same.
Hey, Dad, guess who just moved in next door?
Who?
Ozzy.
Ozzy Smith? I haven't seen him since the fishing trip after the last All-Star game. Man.
Let Radio Shack show you how simple it is to shoot and print your own digital photos. Now save $75 when you buy an HP digital camera and HP photo printer.
Hey, Dad.
This isn't my Ozzy.
Radio Shack, you've got questions.
I'll take a break with a guy who just can't seem to catch one.
You giant Spanish head.
I keep forgetting why I divorced you. Thanks for reminding me.
And thank you for reminding me.
Introducing Louie. Premieres Friday, September 19th on Fox.
Bottom of the 3rd inning, Pedro Martinez now staked to a 3-run lead. And that's been rare for him, Steve, as of late. He hasn't had much batting support.
Not scored a lot of runs when he's been on the mound.
Facing the number 8 hitter, Dan Wilson, the Mariners catcher. And a sidearm delivery in for call strike 1. Wilson 2 of 11 in his career with a run batted in against Martinez. Off-speed pitch outside, 1-1.
Well, for as great as Martinez has been over his career, I said 4 years ago that I thought he was more of a 7-inning pitcher, that he should not go 9 because for how small he is, he can't handle the torque. A lot of people disagreed with that. But if you look at the numbers you see here in Seattle and against them, he just dominates this ball club. But he's a guy that spent a lot of time on the DL over the last 3 seasons. And this year he's gone 8 innings 3 times. And in his starts after those starts, he's 0-3 with an ERA of over 10. So it's not so much him going a complete game or an 8-inning or 9-inning game today. It's his next start where he really has problems. And every time he went on the DL, it was following a start after a complete game.
2-2 pitch is fouled off by Wilson. And one game this year, he had a 120 pitch game, and that took its toll on Pedro. There you see his record, 133-9 when he has 3 or more runs of support. 2-2 to Dan Wilson, and he gets a piece of it and fouls it off. In fact, the Red Sox, and talking about the upcoming schedule for the next several weeks, have already decided that they're going to adjust their rotation so that Pedro will get starts against the Yankees in their 2 series that they have late in August. And in the first week of September, he will face New York twice more.
Well, he loves to face New York. Anytime there's a big game, he wants to be out there. You talked about the run support. That's been the problem for Pedro his entire career with the Red Sox, and they went through a period where they didn't have any confidence in their bullpen, so they'd leave him out there in the 2-1, 3-2 ball games.
Pitch is low, ball 4, and so Dan Wilson walks. The first base on balls issued by Pedro Martinez. And now it's time for today's RadioShack.com trivia question. Who was the last player not from the West Division to win the American League MVP award? And the answer, well, yes, it was a Red Sox player, and it was Mo Vaughn back in 1995.
Big Mo.
Mo. Big Mo. And, of course, going to the New York Mets and all of the problems that they've had with a lot of their veterans that they have unloaded in the second half of this season and building for their future.
Ray Sanchez was a part of that Met team. He said it's like new life over here with the Mariners.
Willie Bloomquist, the rookie third baseman who has never faced Pedro, taking ball 1. Bloomquist has played 6 different positions except center field, pitcher, and catcher. He's been a utility guy, and you were one of those guys who played everything, including pitcher.
Yeah, this guy is very valuable to a team. He can bounce around, give you a little more offense than I did. This guy, the thing I like about him.
Don't be modest.
Yeah, believe me.
Today you don't have to be modest.
There's nothing that I can jump out there with. Even if I didn't want to be.
1-1 to Bloomquist, hitting in the number 9 slot for the Mariners. Nobody out, and Wilson on at first base, and a line drive base hit to left field. Coming over is Ramirez. Holding at second is Wilson. So the Mariners coming back against Pedro here in the bottom of the third inning, find themselves trailing 4-1, but they have the first 2 runners on base and the top of the order with Ichiro coming to the plate.
Well, Ichiro, after the drop pop-up, the next pitch, Hayamon, grand slam for his 11th homer of the season, his 2nd grand slam of the season.
That's a career high in homers for him, 11, and his 2nd grand slam this year, as you mentioned. And he did hit 25 home runs in the Japanese league several years ago. But here he is with runners at first and second, and trying to check his swing, and he does. And the count 1-0 to Ichiro, who reached base. He was hit in the first inning.
Well, Martinez said that he wanted to pitch Ichiro high and tight, get in on his hands if he can. Ichiro kind of running to first base as he swings, keeps the bat head in the hitting zone for a long time.
Fouls this one off. Great bat control does Ichiro have, and the count 1-1. There you see numbers. 401 with runners in scoring position, and 552 with bases loaded. The Mariners have runners at first and second, and the Red Sox, as you look at 2 guys known for their first names, Ichiro and Pedro, facing each other here in the 3rd inning of a 4-1 game. Mariners threaten, and a good pitch by Pedro right at the knees for a called strike 1-2.
When you look at what Ichiro's been able to do since he came to this league over the last 2 seasons, he has more singles than anybody in baseball, more infield hits, and he's reached base via an error 29 times. I mean, that's how he makes people hurry themselves when he hits the ball on the ground in the infield, because of his speed.
Infield, a double play death. Miller, who was in earlier, now with 2 strikes, and the bat comes back to the mound. Pedro goes to second for 1, no chance at first, and a good play made by Kevin Millar to keep the throw from going away, and a run scoring. Going to third base is Dan Wilson.
This is just a great play by Pedro, too. Watch the concentration. Look at the bat coming at him, and now he goes to second base with this. And you talk about a lot of guys that would get so flustered and just get it out at first. He keeps his wits, goes to second. Jackson tries to turn it over, but not enough time to get Ichiro at first. I mean, you're not going to double him up.
And Millar making a good stop to keep Wilson at third. So a runner at third base, and that's Wilson. And Ichiro on at first base with 1 out. So the tying run, and Ray Sanchez, no home runs this year. He's at the plate. Outfield is shortened up all the way around, and a fastball foul back for a strike.
Getting down the line after he knows there's a potential double play ball. He's toying with you, saying there's no way you're doubling me up on that play.
Red Sox have out hit the Mariners 6-2. Pedro with runners at the corners, and the slider is away. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Time to run. Get Ichiro moving.
1-1 the count to Ray Sanchez, and Randy Wynn on deck. Mariners playing today without Brett Boone and Mike Cameron, 2 of their better run producers. Swung on and missed, and it's 1-2.
Sanchez had a great line. He's bounced around, played for a lot of teams. He gets picked up because of his defense mostly. He said with the Mariners, you know, I'm like a cockroach. You know, when you come into the kitchen, no matter where you are, if you turn the light on, you'll always see one running away. That's me. I always show up somewhere.
A pleasant analogy, I might add. Sanchez, who was with the Red Sox last year and hit .286 for them. Ball and 2 strikes. Runner doesn't go, and Sanchez, trying to go the opposite field, fouls it all.
Now there's a nice play by a kid in the stands. That's why you bring your glove to a ball game. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. We've seen some bad. Watch this kid. Oh, you know he's a stallion. He's a star on his high school team somewhere.
But who's Mulligan, number 13 for the Red Sox?
That's when you hit a bad golf shot.
Right.
That guy is a bad golf shot.
That's on the first tee. So So Martinez trying to pitch out of trouble here with 1 out, runners at first and third, bottom of the 3rd inning. 1-2 to Ray Sanchez. Ichiro does not go. Check swing, and they say he went around. So Ripley said that Sanchez offered, and he goes down on strikes for the 2nd out.
Sanchez just went around a little bit too much on the nasty slider, breaking ball in the dirt. Varitek does a nice job of getting down there with it.
So that brings up Randy Wynn, who drove in the Mariners run in the 1st inning with a sacrifice fly to center field. Mariners scoring first in the opening inning. The Red Sox tying it in the 2nd on the home run by Millar, and then the 3 in the 3rd. And the Mariners trying to close the gap here in their half of the 3rd inning. Randy Wynn, who was on the All-Star team last year as a member of the Devil Rays, as Ichiro slides back.
Ended up in a Mariner uniform as compensation for Lou Piniella. Wynn's done an outstanding job for this team. Went through a period of time where he was really carrying the offense.
Piniella going to Tampa Bay, which was his home after several successful but frustrating years here with the Mariners.
You talk about the fan support, the ratings that the Mariners get in the Seattle area, the Pacific Northwest, and that's pretty much due to the job that Lou Piniella did when he came here. Turned this franchise around without question.
And the pitch is in tight, 1 ball and 1 strike. And of course the Red Sox know about their woes of 85 years since they won a World Series. Mariners just want to get into a World Series, and that has been really the stumbling block from them the last few years. Even when they won 116 games, they couldn't get into the World Series. And Bob Melvin, in his 1st year as manager, former catcher, spent a year with the Red Sox as well. Again, in tight is Pedro.
I'm very surprised that I haven't seen Ichiro try to steal a base yet. This is a pretty good running situation here. I know you're down 4-1, but here's a guy that can steal a base at will almost. 28 of them on the season.
Got to do something to get back into the game.
2 outs. Yep. You know, if a guy hits a ball in a gap, you score easily.
Want to take advantage and maybe manufacture something here. 2 balls and a strike. There goes Ichiro. Pitch taken for a ball. Varitek's throw not in time. And Ichiro is in with his 29th stolen base of the season. And the Mariners now with 2 runners in scoring position.
Ichiro only needs 1 little situation, and this ball down and in, a little tougher to handle for Varitek. There is no way you throw him out, and that's all he needs. Look at that ball down and in, tougher to handle. Got to get out of the way of the hitter, and you're just not going to get him. Picture perfect sliding lead leg, hits the base.
And the count 3-1 to win, and on deck is Edgar Martinez with 2 outs. So a big at-bat situation here for Randy Wynn, who has the count in his favor. Mariners with runners at 2nd and 3rd, trailing 4-1 and with 2 out. Fouls it away, and the count is full. 3 ball and 2 strikes. So Pedro having to work here in this 3rd inning, has thrown 25 of his 49 pitches thrown. And that's very important, as you talked about earlier. You can't overwork Pedro. He can't go too long in the game, and the pitch count is critical.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Pedro throw a changeup right here, 3-2. Doesn't want to lose Wynn and have to face Martinez with the bases loaded. But as Brett Boone told me before yesterday's ball game, Pedro never throws a get-me-over pitch. A lot of guys, if you think a guy's looking dead red fastball, you throw a get-me-over curveball. Never does that. Never gives in to anybody. If he throws his changeup here, it'll be his good one.
And the time is called, and Varitek will go to the mound to make sure that he and Pedro are on the same page. This is a very important batter, even though it's early in this ball game, because you have Pedro pitching. Red Sox have the 4-1 lead, and you don't get many opportunities against Martinez, and Mariners have one here.
Pedro's frustration right there is the fact that they're not on the same page, and he feels like when you're not, you give the batter an opportunity to try to figure out what you really want to do.
3-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3 and a curveball by Martinez, striking out Randy Winn. That is his third strikeout, and the Mariners leave 2 runners in scoring position, 4-1.
A fast break to the hoop when, the itch and burn of athlete's foot can drive you up the wall. To treat it, you've got to know the facts. If you use Tinactin or Lotrimin AF, you'll be treating for 4 long weeks. But Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. So you're back in the game fast. Get serious. Who's going to treat for 4 weeks? That's enough to drive anyone up a wall. Kill the fungus with 1 week's use with Lamisil AT. There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
I bet you Noah got pretty hungry staring at those 2 cows while holed up on that boat. Probably thought to himself, there are a lot of other animals. Who's gonna miss them? Hats off, Noah. You're a stronger man than me.
2 grilled stuffed burritos.
Bring it on.
It's big, it's beefy, it's the grilled stuffed burrito from Taco Bell. Seasoned beef, 3 melted cheeses, sealed inside a grilled tortilla. The affordable heavy-duty portables, just $1.99. For the heaviest meal on wheels, think outside the bun. Spice up the night. Open till midnight or later.
What happened here? Just playing some one-on-one, got a little rough.
Let's get him out.
Oh, I don't want you to do anything yet. I just want to see your price and some of the prices of your competitors.
What? Hey, come on, guys.
I just want to get the best deal. You know?
Our customers know the importance of shopping around. Because at Progressive.com, you can get our price for car insurance, plus the rates of other big-name companies. You could save hundreds. Check out Progressive today.
Major League Baseball on Fox is presented by Radio Shack, official sponsor of Major League Baseball. One of the great sights, Mount Rainier, and for Red Sox fans, maybe as good as the Mount is Pedro Martinez, who still has that 4-1 lead with a great strikeout of Randy Winn to retire the side, and Gabe Kapler leading off here in the top of the 4th inning for the Red Sox. Flied out to right his first time. Pinheiro is up high in the count 1-1.
Pretty nasty at bat for Winn right there when you look at that kind of 3-2 breaking pitch. We were pretty sure he wasn't going to see a fastball down the middle, but this is flat out filthy right here. How do you hit that? Watch the bottom drop out of that thing. See ya. I don't want to go face it. I know that.
Handcuffed him, and you mentioned the changeup, which could have worked almost the same way. Martinez, an artist there, fouled at the plate by Kapler, and 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count to Gabe Kapler. Kapler with a great defensive play. He's starting in center field. Johnny Damon out with a slight hamstring pull. Great catch against Eric Chavez in the Red Sox final game at Oakland the other day, and swings at a bad pitch, really chases that one, and Kapler goes down for the strikeout. And right now, here is our Pepsi fan cam, and we ask the fans, who is the greatest athlete produced by the state of Washington?
Steve Largent.
John Ulrich.
John Stockton.
Brett Boone.
I have
no idea. Ichiro. Woo!
Very interesting array of selections from the fans. Is
I didn't know Ichiro was from the state of Washington.
Right. Well, as Walker takes strike 1, 0 for 1, misses a changeup, and the count no balls and 2 strikes. No balls and 2 strikes to Todd Walker, hitting 8th in the lineup today as the Red Sox really shuffled things when Nomar was scratched right before the game. And in reaction to the fan cam, you have a long face. Oh, look at you. Well,
yeah, I know. See, I was born in the state of Washington,
right.
and I got no votes.
No
that's
votes.
not. That's a Mike Weissman play right there. I can
they
tell
didn't
you
come
that.
to me, Steve. They didn't come to me. Had they done that, I would have said, Mr. Lyons, my partner.
You know, sometimes you just need a little help from your partner, that's all.
But you know, this state has produced a lot of great athletes, you being included, of course, but there are a lot of great ones.
Yeah, I'm going with Ichiro.
Ichiro. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and Todd Walker goes down. So Pinheiro coming back after struggling in the second and third innings, striking out Kapler and Walker.
Good looking pitch right here. Nasty breaking ball. That's the downward action that he was talking about. Needs that in both his fastball and his breaking pitches to go along with that changeup to get a ball down in the zone. That's where he's going to be most effective.
2 down. Damian Jackson singled and scored a run. 4 strikeouts for Pinheiro, who gets the slider over for strike 1.
Well, he needs a nice little ground ball right here to get out of this inning with not having thrown as many pitches as he has over the last 2.
And the check swing and taken for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jerry Meals, the first base umpire. Pinheiro looking for his first inning unscathed. He has given up at least a hit in the first 3, including 4 last inning to the Red Sox. And a ground ball to shortstop, and Sanchez makes the play. The first 1-2-3 inning for Joel Pinheiro, and the Mariners trailing the Red Sox 4-1. And little Pinheiro enjoying the afternoon here at Safeco Field.
What do you call a chicken Caesar salad? When you lose the bowl, get it ready for the road, and put it on 2 of the biggest croutons you've ever seen? Burger King calls it the new Chicken Caesar Club. A salad in a sandwich. Come on over. The fire's ready. There are ordinary disposable razors, but now there's new Sensor 3 from Gillette. Totally new handle. 3 blades. On springs that adjust to your face. No disposable shaves better. It could be the best disposable you ever threw away. New Gillette Sensor 3.
We just wanted to make sure that you knew how we felt, that you understood the rules.
We trust you, and we know you'll make good choices.
And remember, you can always talk to us about anything, anytime, okay? Son?
That was good.
One more practice.
These people are getting answers to the most important questions they'll ever ask. Questions about their health. They're finding those answers in a single place. WebMD. 16 million people come to WebMD every month. They find vital information that used to be scattered in 100 locations, now all in one place. The place America comes for healthcare answers. A place called WebMD.
Since Cal Ripken's family got their new HP digital photography system from Radio Shack, things just haven't been the same.
Hey, Dad, guess who just moved in next door?
Who?
Ozzy.
Ozzy? Ozzy Smith? I haven't seen him since the fishing trip after the last All-Star game. Man.
Let Radio Shack show you how simple it is to shoot and print your own digital photos. Now save $75 when you buy an HP digital camera and HP photo printer.
Hey, Dad.
This isn't my Ozzy.
Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers.
With a teacher like this, who wouldn't want to go to school on Friday night? Boston Public, Friday, September 19th on Fox.
Well, there is little Joel Jr. resting comfortably now. You know, his dad was so good last inning, it got boring for him. Fell asleep.
He'll wake up again, I predict. As Edgar Martinez.
They always do.
Starts it up, and he may be hurt as well. Breaking pitch by Pedro is over for a strike.
Dick Pedro's got that look now, especially since last inning. A great breaking ball that he got Wynn on.
Struck out Sanchez and Wynn to end the threat, leaving runners at second and third. Comes inside with the breaking ball. 1-1 to Edgar Martinez, who bounced into an around-the-horn double play to end the first inning. Now 3 for 20 lifetime against Pedro is Edgar. Foul ball off to the right. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Now, you can point to so many things that makes Pedro Martinez an outstanding pitcher, but to me, the 2 things that make the most difference are the arm angle. His arm angle is the same on every pitch he throws, and the attitude. loves to come inside on guys, doesn't care if he hits you because he knows he's going to get the next guy out, and he will not give in.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, reaching on that one, the 3rd straight strikeout for Pedro Martinez. Want to remind you that Thursday, it's a Fox NFL special when Bill Parcells continues to restore the Cowboys to their former glory while Tommy Maddox and the Steelers prepare for another run at the Super Bowl. It all begins Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, right here on Fox. And there is Seahawks Stadium, and a lot of people think that the Seahawks are going to rise from the ashes this year, as Olerud taps it back to the mound, and Martinez throws him out, and there are 2 away. So,
well, for the sake of Mike Holmgren, they better.
Yes. Well, Ray Rhodes is now the defensive coordinator, and he has worked wonders everywhere he's gone. And you know, now that Mike Holmgren has a general manager, doesn't have to handle both jobs. Can just devote himself to coaching. He can do the kinds of things he did when he was at Green Bay.
Well, you hope.
Beautiful set of stadiums, you know, here in at Safeco Field and the Seahawks Stadium, and great fans here in the Pacific Northwest. Mark McLemore taking ball 1 with 2 out.
Seahawks Stadium there sets almost in the exact footprint of the old Kingdome. We all watched that place crumble down. But it was funny about that, the Kingdome, to me, is it looked exactly the same after it was blown up as it did when it was standing there.
Only you can say that as a native of Tacoma. Way out in front of that is McLemore, and the count of ball and 2 strikes. Martinez has struck out 4, and he has settled down considerably. He's given up only 2 hits, both singles. Mariners scoring their lone run in the 1st inning on a sacrifice fly. This is high and away with the fastball, 2-2. Martinez trying to turn things around and come back from a 4-0 loss to Oakland on Monday night. Tim Hudson with the 2-hitter outpitched him. Breaking pitch is low and inside, and the count is full. The Red Sox, you'd be amazed to know, with their ace on the mound, have an 11-10 record. That is not an incredibly impressive record when you have the guy you say is our meal ticket in there, but that's their record with him pitching. Getting a piece of it, staying alive is McLemore, and the count remains 3-2.
As we talked before, he's got 10 no decisions on the season. The team has lost 5 games that he came out of the ball game with the lead. This team has not been a good road club. They're 31-33 on the road.
Lifted in the air to center field, and Gabe Kapler under it makes the catch. And a 1-2-3 inning, 2nd of the game for Pedro. Red Sox 4-1 after 4.
You like that lunch? Good. Hey, hon, how are you? We're good. You know us, up at the crack of dawn, right on schedule, no fooling around. In fact, gotta go. Real busy here, and Dip says hi.
You kind of have to know.
I feel like I kind of do.
Picture mail that talks from Sprint. Now at Sprint stores, get great deals on a wide selection of PCS Vision picture phones starting at $99.99. Share it when it happens.
Sosa.
Jace! Hey,
Come on, 2 out of 3.
I don't think so.
Hey, who Babe Ruth?
I've made a lot of news on the baseball diamonds, but if you want to find out about this diamond, you got to go talk to your doctor.
Ready to try Viagra for the first time? See your doctor and find out if a free sample's right for you.
My doctor says it's right for me. That's why I stay with it. For more information, go to Viagra.com.
The new season of Joe Millionaire is coming this fall. What with a new Joe, new ladies, and a brand new twist? I should really start cleaning up around here. Yeah, that's a good one.
The next Joe Millionaire, Fox Fall.
Red Sox lead the Mariners 4-1 as we move to the top of the 5th here at Safeco Field. Dick Stockton along with Steve Lyons. And the top of the order, Trot Nixon, hitless in 2 trips. Starting it off against Joel Pinheiro, who had his first 1-2-3 inning in the 4th, and Nixon taking a strike. Outfield playing around to the left on the left-handed batter, who fouls it off to the right. And Pinheiro jumps ahead of Nixon 0-2. Nixon will be followed by Bill Miller and David Ortiz. Red Sox playing without Johnny Damon. Slight hamstring pull, and Nomar Garcia-Parra, who has a back spasms. And the Red Sox have had good production from the middle and top of their batting order, 2 through 5. Overhand curve, and the ball getting away, and it's Nixon going to first base. And Pedro in the dugout, and we asked Trot Nixon about the luxury of playing when he's got Pedro Martinez on the mound behind him.
Obviously, you know, everybody knows that Pedro's on the mound, and he's an awfully good pitcher. We all know that. And but in the same sense, the Mariners have got an awfully good lineup too. So it's a lot of pressure there on Pedro that he can handle, that he's handled before. But in the same sense, you know, when you see a Cy Young winner, a great pitcher on the mound, you have a tendency to get up for him.
Well, it's been tough on the Red Sox because they have not scored runs for him, and that happens a lot. Sometimes guys relax. They think they got their ace on the mound, and they don't go out and produce offensively. It's really been the story for Pedro's season this year and in seasons past.
And it's not only been the lack of run support, the bullpen has not come through. A lot of the instances that he has had leads were not held up by the bullpen. 3-2 pitch. Nixon strikes out for the 2nd time in the game, this time swinging. Strikeout number 5 for Pinheiro. And that's why Theo Epstein went ahead and made all those deals. The Red Sox feel that they have exactly the kind of bullpen they have right now as setup men and the closer in Kim.
BK Kim comes over from Arizona. They got Sauerback in a trade. Williamson as well.
First pitch to Bill Miller, taken down low, ball 1. Miller has had a big game thus far with a pair of singles, and more important in the 3rd inning. 3-2 with a runner at first base, staying alive for as long as he did, setting up Ortiz with a 2-run double after Miller finally got a base hit.
I think one of the things that the Red Sox should be concerned about, and are, is the fact that they haven't played well on the road. The last 3 seasons they've had a better road record than they have at Fenway. This year, not the case. Every Red Sox regular has a worse batting average on the road than they do at home. Maybe Garcia is the most glaring, a .392 hitter at home, a .260 hitter on the road.
1-2 pitch, and a base hit through the hole in right field. So Miller is 3 for 3. And with 1 out, the Red Sox with a runner at first base. That's their 7th hit of the game. And here is the Webb MD health report for both the Red Sox and the Mariners. And you see Jeremy Giambi, and he is undergoing surgery on his shoulder, the late report, and the rest of the walking and not so walking wounded.
Brandon Lyon was a guy that was involved in that trade to Pittsburgh. They wanted to send him back because they thought he was hurt. Had a couple different opinions. Finally, they said, no, he's not hurt, but we'll take someone else anyway. So they get him back.
Here is Ortiz, and he takes ball 1. Ortiz knocking in 2 runs with a double in the gap in right center field his last time up, as the Red Sox on the strength of the 2-run double and Kevin Millar's sacrifice fly broke a 1-1 tie in front 4-1 here as we go into the 5th inning with 1 out and 1 on. The count is 2-0 now to Ortiz. Well, looking at the Red Sox schedule the rest of the way after they conclude this 7-game road trip to Oakland and Seattle, which ends Sunday. After this week, 23 of their last 38 games will be at Fenway Park, and that includes a road makeup game against the Phillies going back to interleague play. 3-0 now to Ortiz, so the Red Sox should have things their way, where they are second to the Oakland A's in the home record this year. balls and no strikes, with Miller, the runner at first, held on by John Olerud, and takes high ball 4. And runners now at first and second and 1 out as Ortiz is on, setting the stage for Manny Ramirez. So an unfortunate walk for Pinheiro as you take a look at the Red Sox remaining schedule percentage-wise. They have the toughest schedule as their opponents are over 500, 50%, and the others are below. But I'll tell you what, and you know this as well as anyone, you come down the stretch and you're playing a team that's out of the race, they're as dangerous, if not more so, than a contending team.
They have no pressure on them. They like to play the spoiler route.
Rounding ball to third, handled by Bloomquist, over to second for 1. For the first, doubles up Ramirez. Good play by Willie Bloomquist. Right at him, but it was hard hit, and the 5-4-3 double play ends the threat. In the middle of the 5th, Sox lead 4-1.
This is your car. Nice hardtop. If you drive safely, meaning you do stuff like obey the speed limit, always check your blind spot, and avoid accidents, hey, watch it, lead foot, then Allstate could reward you with something you'll eat right up. Some green. Up to 20% off your insurance bill. It's the Allstate Safe Driver Discount. Call today and find out how you're in good hands with Allstate. Hey, this is for the safe driver. Here you go.
A recent test put motor oils to a punishing comparison involving extreme heat and stress beyond anything a car would ever face. The contestants, Castrol Syntec versus the leading 5W30 conventional oil.
Bob, what are the readings on the other car?
In the end, under these grueling conditions, Castrol Syntec performed better. Castrol Syntec. Everything else is just motor oil.
If you missed the latest episode of The OC...
What are you doing with my girlfriend?
Catch an encore presentation. Monday at 8, 7 Central. And Tuesday, it's a new episode on its regular night.
You got in a fight and burnt a house down over you. That's hot. What more do you need?
The OC, a special encore Monday and all new Tuesday on Fox.
Major League Baseball on Fox, presented by Radio Shack, is brought to you by WebMD, the place America comes for healthcare answers. By Allstate, you're in good hands with Allstate. By Castrol Syntec, everything else is just motor oil. And by Radio Shack, official sponsor of Major League Baseball. And in the bottom of the 5th inning, John Mabry, the number 7 hitter, leading off against Pedro Martinez, staked to a 4-1 lead, takes a call strike.
Yeah, Dick, we talked in the open about the 4 contending teams in the American League, and only 3 of them will be in the playoffs. It's going to be fun to watch how it all pans out. You know, as you look at the way the division stands right now, the Yankees have a pretty good hold on the East. Not that things couldn't change there with the Red Sox if they put a nice run on, or if something happens with the Yankees. Right now, the Mariners playing, you know, pretty good baseball. Just a 500 team since the break, really, but starting to pull out of that a little bit.
And the 0-2 pitch swung on and missed on a high fastball, and Mabry goes down. Well, 4 teams battling, and 3 will make the playoffs. And you're right, the Red Sox would say, well, we're 5 behind the Yankees in the loss column, but we're 1 ahead of Oakland. So basically, as the Red Sox feel, you just got to win games. You know, whether you're going to gain or not on these teams, just winning will solve a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, it's very natural to do some scoreboard watching, but at this point, play the best baseball that you can. But as we said, I just don't think that this Red Sox team is the type of team that we've seen in the past 85 years that folds up down the stretch. It's a different mentality on this club. There's enough guys on the team that will take care of each other. They all like each other. They play pretty good baseball, and they certainly swing the bats. It will come down to their pitching staff.
Both the starters, which have been somewhat shaky, and the bullpen. Here is Dan Wilson with a line drive coming over, diving, unable to make the play is Kapler, and it goes all the way to the warning track, rounding second, and going to third is Dan Wilson, and he'll slide in safely with a 1-out triple here in the 5th inning. So Kapler decided to make the play, and he couldn't, and Wilson is on at third base with 1 away.
I like this effort by Kapler. He's got into a position where he probably thinks he should have caught that ball. When you dive for it like that, he'll come back to the bench thinking I should have caught it. Some people would say back off of that ball, don't let the guy get a triple. But guess what? He's going to score on a base hit anyway. It's a nice effort. He gets up, he hustles after the ball. You only give up one extra base. And if he makes that play, you continue to energize Pedro as a pitcher.
So Wilson is at third base, and Willie Bloomquist 1 for 1 with a single his first time up. Takes a strike. Third baseman Miller is playing even with the bag, and shortstop for the Red Sox, Damian Jackson, is playing deep at that position. 4-1, the Red Sox in front here in the top of the 5th inning. And that was hit number 3 against Pedro. On the corner for strike 2.
Now, to further my point, Dick, this is such a big outfield as far as the distance that you have to cover here, and the Red Sox are not known for the defensive outfield, especially their arms. If Wilson's on second base with 1 out, whoever singles after that, Wilson scores anyway. So what difference does it make if he's on third? Make the effort to catch the ball.
And he strikes out Bloomquist. So once again, Pedro digs down deep and has it when he needs it, striking out Sanchez, and then winning the third. He gets Bloomquist here.
Talk about a guy that's just bearing down with a guy on third base. That's his good hard fastball up in the zone. And now he gets to go to work against the best hitter in the American League.
With 2 away and the runner at third base, Red Sox with a little margin here, in front by 3 runs, 4-1. Ichiro has reached. He was hit by a pitch and reached on a fielder's choice and has a stolen base. Pitch down low in the dirt, ball 1. 6 strikeouts now for Pedro, and 5 coming since the 3rd inning. Ichiro looking to bring the Mariners closer, 4-1 in this game. Seattle winning last night 10-5. That pitch low and away, and 2-0 the count. On deck is Ray Sanchez. So he's going to be very careful as you see Sanchez on deck with Ichiro, knowing that he has a hitter who has been hot as of late since coming over to Seattle from the Mets. But certainly not the threat that Ichiro is. 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. So the Mariners have not gotten the job done against Pedro in these situations. Runner at third is Dan Wilson. His 1 out triple to the center field wall. And 3-0 to Ichiro. Inside ball 4, and so he wasn't giving Ichiro anything good, and would rather face Sanchez even with runners now at first and third.
It's your basic unintentional, intentional walk. Figures he goes after Sanchez right here. He's not going to go anywhere close to Ichiro. Maybe try to get him to swing at a bad pitch, which he rarely does. Nowhere near the strike zone, and doesn't care that he isn't. It doesn't matter to him that he put another guy on base. He's going to go hard after Sanchez right here.
Sanchez has 1 of the 3 Mariner hits. Struck out his last time up. Breaking ball missing. 1 ball and no strikes to Sanchez. Mariners split their 4 games against the Toronto Blue Jays, and capturing last night's series opener, which will conclude tomorrow afternoon with the Red Sox. 1-0 the count to Sanchez. There's a strike. 1-1.
This could be a fun at bat, Dick. You're going to see Pedro right now bearing down as well as he has at any point in the game right now.
He's had those moments, those occasions, Steve, when he had to do exactly that, and he has come through in each occasion. See what he does here with Sanchez. There's a fastball taken for strike 2. 1-2.
He gets that look on his face. He can make it awfully difficult on opposing hitters. That was just an 86-mile-an-hour fastball. That's not his good one. That was just a one that he tried to backdoor it a little bit. Throw it off the plate, let it run back out over. You're going to see something nasty right here, though.
The 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Talk about nasty, and Pedro, placid and cool, gets the strikeout once again to end the inning. We've completed 5, and it's 4-1 in favor of Boston.
Since Cal Ripken's family got their new HP digital photography system from Radio Shack, things just haven't been the same.
Hey, Dad, guess who just moved in next door?
Who?
Ozzy.
Ozzy? Ozzy Smith? I haven't seen him since the fishing trip after the last All-Star game. Man.
Let Radio Shack show you how simple it is to shoot and print your own digital photos. Now save $75 when you buy an HP digital camera and HP photo printer.
Hey, Dad.
This isn't my Ozzy.
Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers.
Don't let anything stop you from satisfying your late-night hunger. Taco Bell is open late. Spice up the night. Open till midnight or later.
Now there's a new non-drowsy medicine that lets you breathe again. Alivert Allergy and Sinus relieves sinus pressure, runny nose, and nasal congestion. Breathe again with new Alivert Allergy and Sinus. The right relief, wherever you are.
You're looking at people getting answers to the most important questions they'll ever ask. Questions about their own health, their children's, their parents. You're also looking at something that never existed before, a way to make truly informed decisions about everything from when to visit a doctor to what questions to ask when you get there. WebMD. 16 million people come to WebMD every month. They come to learn about a condition or a diagnosis, to check prescriptions for interactions, to chat with experts, or each other. We help them navigate our thousands of medically reviewed pages to find exactly what they need. Information that used to be scattered in 100 different locations, now all in one place. The place America comes for healthcare answers. A place called WebMD.
On this island, you only need 3 things to survive. Sunscreen, a bathing suit, and the ability to say no. The Next Temptation Island. Premieres Thursday, August 28th on Fox. Parental discretion advised.
There you're looking at the 2 pitchers, Joel Pinheiro and Pedro Martinez, as we move to the top of the 6th inning. Red Sox lead 4-1, and an overhand off-speed pitch by Pinheiro to Kevin Millar misses. Millar, with a home run and a sacrifice fly, has driven in 2 runs for the Red Sox today. Millar now with 76 runs driven in on the year, taking a strike, 1-1.
How about the determination that Pedro showed in that last inning? Goodness.
Swing and a miss, totally fooled by that Pinheiro delivery, and it's 1-2.
Look at him. You see, he's even looking at us. He's scaring me right now. That's a guy that weighs about 175 pounds. One of the most feared pitchers in the game. Check this out. Here's the pitch that he strikes out Sanchez on. Just a nasty breaking ball, and watch him up close. Look at, after he swings through it, he says, "You can't hit my stinking breaking ball."
In other words, I'm in charge. Got that message across.
Yes, he's pretty much in charge.
Millar staying alive on the last pitch, so it is still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Leading off here in the 6th inning, and fouls it off again. Pinheiro now has thrown 105 pitches. And in the bullpen is Brian Sweeney, who was up a couple of times earlier, just brought up by the Mariners. Pat Borders, the 40-year-old catcher, sent down by the general manager, Pat Gillick, so they got another right-hander in there.
Remember, we talked about him leading the league in average number of pitches.
And he's right there now, and there's reaching out, and a ground ball through into center field, and a base hit. So Millar reaching out and getting a base hit, his 2nd of the game. He is 2 for 2, 2 RBIs with the sacrifice fly. And it is hit number 8 for the Red Sox. So the leadoff man on aboard against Pinheiro, and that brings up Jason Varitek, who's 0 for 2.
Sweeney may have to get ready in a hurry down in that pen. I don't know how much longer Bob Melvin's going to go with Pinheiro with the 4-1 deficit already. Clearly getting tired.
And the runner goes, and the pitch fouled at the plate by Varitek. And Millar actually had a good jump, and shaken up is Dan Wilson.
Well, there's a nice little hit and run attempt right there. Varitek fouled it off, but you know guys aren't stealing bases. When you look at Millar, look at those socks. Those are slow socks. Those socks do not run fast. And look at Varitek at the plate. Same situation. Those are not worn by guys that are speed burners. Look at now, Ichiro, those are fast socks right there. He's not even wearing socks.
Now, what about Manny? He wears, now he doesn't have fast socks, and he wears the low, so there's a little dissenting view of the style of.
Yeah, but there's not too many guys that can run that show you their socks.
Good bunt by Varitek, and the only play is to first base in time. Perfect sacrifice as Millar was running on the pitch. So Millar moving to second on the sacrifice. Pitcher to second base, and that'll bring Gabe Hapler up to the plate.
I just like what the Red Sox are doing here. This is a team that very rarely plays small ball. You got Varitek, who's having a great season, dropping down a bunt to get another guy in scoring position with a 4-1 lead in the 6th. Trying to tack on maybe one more run for insurance.
And with Martinez, that's all you really need to do. Olerud bluffed coming in and then went back to make the play at first, as Kapler takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Red Sox with a runner at second and 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Mariners scored in the opening inning on a sacrifice fly against Pedro, and then they've been blanked. They've had some chances, but Pedro has shut the door with some key strikeouts. And the Red Sox looking for more, and they may get it right here. Base hit up the middle by Kapler, and held at third is Millar, and a good throw coming into the plate. So Mike Covich with 1 out, not looking to take any chances, and what a throw to the plate, and Millar would have been dead to rights.
Well, that's what we talked about, the slow Sox, but watch the Millar coming around third. I thought the call by Covich here, the third base coach, was to send him. Millar turned around and stopped, and it's a good thing he did. One of a very good throwing arm by Wynn in center field. One hopper in there to Wilson, and you're right. Let's see if we can pick up the coach. There it was. It was a late holdup.
I'll tell you right about the great arms. I mean, Ichiro has a great one. So does Wynn. This is a Gold Glove team, as we pointed out in the opening tease before we came on the air. This is a club, the Seattle Mariners, who have made only 44 errors, committed only 44. They're on a pace to set an all-time fielding record that was set by the New York Mets back in '99.
They do not beat themselves.
And the pitch low and inside.
Made reference to last night's ball game where the Red Sox gave up about 7 outs in that 6th inning, and it ended up hurting them with the grand slam by Ichiro. Ended up making the score 8-4, and they could have been out of the inning.
And that's why the Mariners have to feel good about themselves with the solid pitching. They've got the ballpark and good defense, because down the line, that's really what's going to get it done, particularly when you get into postseason. But the Mariners have known nothing but postseason woes, and they're looking to change that. Pitch is up high, 2 balls and no strikes to Todd Walker. 0 for 2.
Tell you what, though, Dick, I wouldn't mind being a starting pitcher on this Red Sox team, knowing the way these guys swing the bats for me every day.
And a call strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, Jeff Supan, who of course was a late addition, still has not found his groove. He again was hit hard last night, and in his 3 starts since coming over from the Pittsburgh Pirates has struggled. So the Red Sox waiting for Jeff to come around. 2-1 fouled off, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You look at the number of starts he's had since coming back to the Red Sox. Originally was with the Red Sox organization, just not getting it done so far.
2-2 the count, with the runners at first and third and 1 out for the Red Sox, trying to add to their lead. And the pitch rolled to the right. Olerud going over for 1. The throw to first base. Safe at first, covering with Pinheiro, and he claims that the play was made at first before Walker got to the bag, and scoring is Kevin Millar. And the Red Sox have added their 5th run, and a dispute at first base, and Bob Melvin arguing with the first base umpire Jerry Meals. They thought that they had Walker. It would have been a very nifty double play for the Mariners.
And I'll tell you what, remember Lou Piniella coming out of the dugout and making a lot of noise. Bob Melvin, much more of a quiet guy, but he has a legitimate argument here. I don't know if Meals said that the bag was not touched or the play was beaten by the runner Walker. Olerud has a little trouble getting it out of his glove. Then a nice job by Sanchez. We talked about his defense. He's out, Dick. It looked to me like Pinheiro was on the base and he had the ball. It was awkward. It looks ugly.
And that's going to be all as you look at the play again. And Pinheiro has been taken out of the game. And Brian Sweeney is going to come in. So Pinheiro once again struggles. We'll be right back.
All right, kids, today we're going to rob a home run, and this is how it's done.
Major League Baseball Charities is a proud partner of Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
Come on, you got to rob back.
You guys want to know about the rally cab? Make a big W. This is an important part of baseball.
Through programs like RBI and Rookie League, they bring baseball and softball to kids around the world.
Ooh, you're supposed to jump.
Together, they create a positive place for kids.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh!
On the season premiere, did he have her consent?
It just got a little rough. That's how we like it.
Or was it assault?
I saw it. It was a rape.
From Emmy Award-winning creator David E. Kelley.
I didn't rape her.
One student who won't step up.
I didn't get raped.
One teacher who won't back down.
I'm going to the police.
The controversial season premiere of the acclaimed series Boston Public, Consent or Assault.
How could you do this to me?
On its new night, Friday, September 19th on Fox. TV personality Stan Hooper was tired of the big city rat race.
I want to be a simple man.
Oh, honey, you are simple.
So he's moving to a small town to get away from it all.
We're going to make Waterford Falls our new home.
Oh, that's marvelous. Fallen on hard times, have you?
But he's about to find...
Look, honey, it's your head made out of cheese.
Holy Lord.
That average America...
Oh, I forgot the best part. The house comes with a butler. We don't need a butler. So, how do you folks like your underwear folded?
Ain't what it used to be.
I'm gonna get you tea right now. I don't want tea. Well, you're getting it.
Norm Macdonald stars.
Tea is served. I don't want tea. And you should have said something.
In a Minute with Stan Hooper, a new comedy, Wednesdays, Fox Fall. One man controls an empire.
My business is 100% legal.
One man is sworn to destroy it.
Every politician needs a target.
Let's take him down.
And their battle is about to get personal.
Now, can you imagine what will happen if the press gets a hold of this? The DA's son and the pornographer's daughter? If he laid a hand on her, so help me!
You can't tell me not to see him!
From executive producer Jerry Bruckheimer.
You tell your son to keep his filthy hands off my daughter.
Skin, a new series coming soon to Fox.
Brian Sweeney is the new pitcher, but while we were gone, Bob Melvin came out arguing over that first base call and was tossed out of the game. And the clubhouse, the Seattle clubhouse, had seen the replay, and they let the dugout know that that Walker was out at first base, and Melvin came out and was tossed.
Came out and argued the play. Says, hey, there is no way in a pennant race at this time in the year that I can have a call like that made. You see Melvin arguing, finally gets tossed out of the game. Meals had heard enough.
So Damian Jackson is the batter facing Brian Sweeney, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. And this is while we were away, and really giving a piece of his mind to Jerry Meals.
It's hard for Melvin to argue. He's 6'5". It's tough for him to get down to Meals' level there to get in his face.
Post him up with ease. It's the second time, by the way, that Bob Melvin has been ejected this year. Ground ball to the left side, and here is Sanchez going to second for the final out, and that'll do it. So Sweeney comes in and gets the job, but not before the Red Sox add to their lead, and Bob Melvin takes an early shower and does all the talking to Jerry Meals. We have completed 5.5 here in Safeco Field with the Red Sox in front of the Mariners 5-1.
I've made a lot of news on the baseball diamonds, but if you want to find out about this diamond, you've got to go talk to your doctor.
Ready to try Viagra for the first time? See your doctor and find out if a free sample's right for you.
My doctor says it's right for me. That's why I stay with it. For more information, go to Viagra.com.
You've been spotted. You've won.
This summer, get spotted with Aquafina for your chance to win pure cash. It's the Aquafina Pure Luck promotion. With over 3,000 winners a week, this could be your lucky water. Aquafina, purity guaranteed.
There are ordinary disposable razors, but now there's new Sensor 3 from Gillette. Totally new handle, 3 blades, on springs that adjust to your face. No disposable shaves better. It could be the best disposable you ever threw away. New Gillette Sensor 3.
What do you call a chicken Caesar salad? When you lose the bowl, get it ready for the road, and put it on 2 of the biggest croutons you've ever seen? Burger King calls it the new Chicken Caesar Club. A salad in a sandwich. Come on over. The fire's ready.
No more biking for you. Oh, boy.
It's the moment of choice, Tylenol or Advil. Doctors nationwide choose Advil most for strains and sprains. Advil gives you longer-lasting relief than Tylenol on tough muscle pain. Advance to Advil.
We're here to learn how to trust our wireless phones, which is hard because we've all been hurt before, haven't we? Johnny? We're accepting that our phones are unreliable, that some features work here and not over there. That's not helping. Try hugging the phone, not choking it.
Okay.
Sprint is different. All your services work the same wherever you go on the most complete, all-digital wireless network in the nation.
Like voicemail and email?
Even clear calls. I think we just made a breakthrough.
PCS from Sprint. Try the nation's most complete wireless network.
Wait. Bottom of the 6th inning, and Pedro Martinez with another notch on his belt, leading 5-1, facing Randy Wynn to start things off. His big strikeout of Wynn with runners at second and third, one of the key moments of this game back in the 3rd inning, as Wynn misses 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one. And Wynn swings and misses. And a ball and 2 strikes. Wynn will be followed by Edgar Martinez and John Olerud. Martinez, 81 pitches into the 6th inning. So he's right on line with the number of pitches you would want him to throw at this point. Ball hit out to left field, and coming on in is Manny Ramirez to make the catch for the out. Well, this week's clutch performance, brought to you by Viagra, is from Monday night's Cardinals-Pirates game. Bottom of the 1st inning, Reggie Sanders fly ball to Jim Edmonds, who throws a strike to home plate to nail Tyke Redmond. And then in the 8th inning, Redmond hits a single up the middle, and there's that man again, Edmonds, coming up throwing, this time gunning down the go-ahead runner, Abraham Nunez. Now that's clutch.
I think he took a pretty good hit there.
Yes, he did. He took a clutch hit, and the Cardinals, who play later against the Philadelphia Phillies, a half a game behind the Chicago Cubs, coming into today's action, tied with Houston. So here is Martinez, the designated hitter. Age 40, keeps on going, 1 ball and 1 strike. You know, you wonder someday about a pure DH at this point getting into a Hall of Fame, and you look at Edgar Martinez's numbers, and they're pretty impressive. And I would think they would get some considerations.
I don't think there's any reason why Edgar Martinez won't be the first designated hitter into the Hall of Fame. They certainly have a designated hitter in baseball. I've had it for a number of years now, so it should be recognized in the Hall. Whether you're a National League fan or an American League fan, if you don't like it, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I think the fact that the DH is in the American League and it's not in the National League is one of the best arguments of all baseball.
Edgar Martinez, as you see, most active players, most seasons, with 300 average, 400 on base, 500 slugging. He's right there. 3-1 pitch is fouled off, and Martinez, who has been with Seattle since the 1987 season, and that's the longest current tenure with one club by any American League player, so he has been consistent. Only Barry Larkin has played longer with the same team.
Shoot, way back when I was playing, he was a third baseman. He's had a couple knee operations on one knee, another one on the other, and his hamstrings are what give him the most problems these days.
And he draws the walk. The other day he had a little cramp, and he's come back, so you can't put that 40-year-older down for long.
That's right. Well, hey, we got the results of the Sprint Virtual Manager question. What is Dick Stockton's greatest call of his entire life? Look, they give you the Fisk home run. Where's Leslie coming in at 21% right there? You know,
third place. But you know, there's still time. We're only in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Keep voting.
We can get the votes in. We haven't heard from Cook County yet.
Yeah. Well, if they knew Leslie like we do, they would understand that that's the best call you ever made.
I wish you were here to make the plea, because she might get 90%. But thanks for the consideration.
Although the Fisk call was pretty good.
Well,
stay fair.
That was a great moment. And here's the pitch down low to John Olrud. You know, for calls, I mean, when you get a line drive that could be fair or foul, you can't give it the dramatic call.
Way back.
Joe Buck's call on Mark McGuire's big home run. It's the same way. I mean, you have to wait to see whether it's going over the fence on a line drive. And he made a brilliant call on McGuire's record-breaking home run in St. Louis.
Well, same one there in '75. You said if it stays fair.
And it
hit the foul pole or the fair pole.
Those are, by the way, those are great seats that they have put up beyond the left field wall at Fenway Park. Olrud, 2 balls and no strikes with 1 out and 1 on. There's a bounding ball to second base. Could be 2. Throw to second for 1, and they get the double play to retire the side. So the Red Sox turn their second double play of the game, and will return to Seattle after a break from your local Fox station.
Tomei and the Phillies take on Pujols and the Cards. Fox Saturday Baseball next week.
Looks like you're enjoying a quality meal at a casual dining restaurant for about $8.
Oh, no. I'm much smarter than that.
So you went to KFC and got the same quality meal for half the price. That's
genius. I know.
Now get a breast meal, 2-piece meal, or a 3-strip meal, each for only $4 every day. Save even more when you feed the whole family with KFC's 10-piece family meal. At less than $4 a person, you've got to be the smartest family around.
Yeah, we know.
Feed your family for less than $4 a person at KFC.
Buying an SUV? Here's one piece of advice. Yep, that's one piece. We designed Nissan Pathfinder as one single structure bound by 4,200 precision welds. If you want to find a rattle in this SUV, you better bring a baby. Get a $319 per month lease on new 2003 Nissan Pathfinders at your Nissan dealers. Strong.
11 bands, thousands of fans, brought together by one beer. The Coors Light Mountain Jam, featuring 50 Cent, Korn, P.O.D., The Doors of the 21st Century, Evanescence, Government Mule, and many, many more. The Coors Light Mountain Jam, the hottest bands on the coolest stage. Red Rocks Amphitheater, Saturday, August 30th, Labor Day weekend. Get your tickets at CoorsLight.com, then get to Colorado and rock on.
The following offer has been approved for viewing audiences.
Chevrolet presents Summer Drive 2, the Max.
Now, current Chevy owners and lessees get $4,000 total cash back when you purchase a 2003 Chevy Silverado. Or current Chevy owners and lessees get $5,000 total cash back when you purchase a 2003 Chevy Trailblazer. See your local Chevy dealer.
Fox Undercover, naming names and keeping you informed. Only on Fox 25 News at 10.
And a beautiful view looking out at left field at Safeco Field, and another great crowd on hand of 46,000 plus as Trot Nixon leads off. He is 0 for 3, has struck out twice, and facing Brian Sweeney for the first time, and misses the first pitch for strike 1. So Brian Sweeney in place of Joel Pinheiro, who worked 5 2/3 innings, allowed 5 runs, 9 hits, struck out 5 and walked 1. Called up yesterday is Brian Sweeney, 29-year-old right-hander from Yonkers, New York. And the count to Nixon, 1-1.
Spent his whole career in the minor leagues, has been working since '96 to get here, and literally cried when he got the call to come up. Emotional. Tried to call everybody he knew. Because of the blackout, he had some trouble getting back to the people in New York to let them know that he'd been called to the big leagues.
As long as the Red Sox hitters don't make him cry, that's
yeah, that would be one thing.
That'd be pretty good.
Said I've been working for a long time to trying to get here.
Down to the right side, Oru grabs it and fires over to Sweeney for the out.
Well, Dick, the virtual manager question said that the Fisk homer was your best call, but you were sitting in those left field seats at Fenway, and this was your opinion of it.
Greatest thing that ever happened to me in my life personally was meeting Leslie that night before the 6th game of the World Series, and professionally was hours later, and actually was after midnight, calling Carlton Fisk's home run.
Now, that's one heck of a good day.
That's my vote. Yes, it is. It's a great day, as it's turned out in 21 years of great days, I might add, with Leslie. And did you see me wearing the Syracuse hat? You know, they're defending national basketball champions.
I just saw you wearing some bad orange outfit. That's all I saw.
1 ball and no strikes to Bill Miller, and he takes inside, moved back a bit.
It's a good thing Leslie can dress. I think all your taste is in your mouth.
Bill Miller 3 for 3 with 3 singles and a run scored. So he has 3 of the Red Sox 9 hits. 5-1 the score, and fouled out of play. So it's been a quiet afternoon for the fans here at Safeco Field.
You know, it's amazing to me is it only took me 6 innings to start burying a legend. I mean, I'm used to, you know, getting on Tom. I should have left you alone for a while.
But you're the legend. I mean, when they told me I was going to finally work with you, that really didn't have a chance to meet you until this weekend. And you're a likable chap. Don't be a stranger, by the way, after this game. 2 balls and a strike with 1 away. And off-speed pitch, low and away, 3-1. The count to Bill Miller. Red Sox in the midst, as you see David Ortiz on deck of a 7-game road trip. 4 in Oakland. They split the games there, and 3 games here in Seattle. 3-2 now, the count to Bill Miller. The Red Sox came back and won the last 2 in Oakland, and just when you think they're ready to go into a swoon, they come back strong. I mean, they were down 4 or 5 games to the Yankees, and they won a couple. Now they're 5 back, or 4 back, 5 in the loss column, which is really the measuring stick, because you can't make up the losses.
Right. It's going to be an uphill battle. There's still a lot of time to go, but you know, as I said before, I mean, well, I was part of the Red Sox organization for 4 different stints. This is a different club, a lot more enthusiasm, a different ownership group, and I just don't think this team will fold like they have in September in the past.
Popped up to third base. Bloomquist fighting the sun makes the catch in fair territory for out number 2. And here is today's game summary brought to you by GMC Professional Grade. And Pedro rolling along with 7 strikeouts, and the Red Sox, who trailed 1-0, have scored the 5 runs since then. And Kevin Millar with a home run. And Bob Melvin ejected for the 2nd time in his career.
Bob Melvin ejected for a legitimate call, a legitimate gripe that he had on a double play ball. It looked like Todd Walker was out at first base with the pitcher Pinheiro covering, but he did it poorly. He actually got over there to cover the base in time and then just didn't handle it very well. It was a difficult call to make. Umpire called him safe, Jerry Meals, and looked to all of us like he was out.
And the Red Sox got an extra run as a result. Ortiz grounds to McLemore in a 1-2-3 inning for Brian Sweeney, making his major league debut and doing the job. And here's that play again. The throw to first base to Pinheiro covering looked like he had Walker.
Since Cal Ripken's family got their new HP digital photography system from Radio Shack, things just haven't been the same.
Hey, Dad, guess who just moved in next door?
Who?
Ozzy.
Ozzy Smith? I haven't seen him since the fishing trip after the last All-Star game. Man.
Let Radio Shack show you how simple it is to shoot and print your own digital photos. Now save $75 when you buy an HP digital camera and HP photo printer.
Hey, Dad.
This isn't my Ozzy.
Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers.
It's the winning season for the Hyundai Sonata, ranked most appealing entry midsize car by J.D. Power and Associates. Protected by America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. $2,100 less than a Toyota Camry when comparably equipped. And now get an extra $1,000 cash back. The Hyundai Sonata starting at just $15,839 after $1,000 cash back. You're the winner at the Hyundai Winning Season Clearance. Going on now at your Hyundai dealer.
A recent test put motor oils to a punishing comparison involving extreme heat and stress beyond anything a car would ever face. The contestants, Castrol Syntec versus the leading 5W30 conventional oil.
Bob, what are the readings on the other car?
In the end, under these grueling conditions, Castrol Syntec performed better. Castrol Syntec. Everything else is just motor oil.
Dear Commissioner, Major League Baseball is great, but what if we let one lucky fan play catcher for the day?
Guest catcher for today, Jason Weinstein. Says here he's played a little T-ball. Doesn't look like he's grown much either. And that ball is driven deep. Burt Brown's third. There's going to be a play at the plate. Ooh, just off the glove. Well, this will be a day he'll remember.
No, he won't. Major League Baseball on Fox, presented by Radio Shack, is brought to you by Budweiser. The best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. Pedro with 91 pitches coming into the bottom of the 7th inning, and his first offering to Mark McLemore is ball 1. McLemore 0 for 2, coming off a 4 for 4 game last night, when the Mariners stomped over the Red Sox 10-5 to win in the first game of the series. Fly ball to right field, and coming on over is Trot Nixon, and that'll be out number 1.
Well, this Mariner lineup so far in today's ball game with Pedro on the mound has absolutely run into a buzzsaw. 3 hits in the afternoon, Pedro being Pedro. Not much else you have to say about a guy when he can dominate a game the way he does.
7 ground outs, 7 strikeouts, and he has scattered the 3 hits that he has allowed. There was a single in the first. Bloomquist got a base hit in the third when the Mariners had 2 runners on, and the triple by Wilson with 1 out in the 5th inning.
And you can see a noticeable concentration difference and attitude change in Pedro when guys got on.
Big outs were the strikeout by Randy Wynn in the 3rd inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd, and then getting Ichiro after Ichiro walked. Sanchez struck out, stranding Wilson at 3rd. There's a slider in on the fist for a strike, 1 and 2.
And you know, Dick, when you're a Mariners fan and you look back to that Wynn strikeout with runners on, and you say, oh, you know, how can you swing at that pitch? Well, sometimes you just flat out have to give the pitcher credit for an outstanding 3-2 pitch that he threw to a guy.
John Mabry hanging in there with a count, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Mabry hitless in 2 trips. And ground ball, fair ball, off the glove of Millard, throw to first base in time. Covering was Martinez, and the Seattle fans won't accept anything right here. That was a close call, and Millard with good reaction recovered in time to make the out.
Well, Millard's always been one of those guys where they're trying to find a position for him. First base is a pretty good one for him. He recovers nicely here, and Pedro just makes it easier to make the call. He's got his foot on the bag. He stretches away like a first baseman a little bit, gives the view to the umpire of where the play is, and it's an easy out call for Jerry Meals. Joel Pinheiro did not give that same view to Meals, and that's why he blew the call.
Call strike to Dan Wilson, who's been on base twice. Meals tossed Bob Melvin. Wilson has walked and tripled. Coming in, hitting .246. And 0-2 on the swing and a miss by Dan Wilson. 2 out, nobody on base. And it's always tough to face Martinez, who 10-0 lifetime against the Mariners. The only pitcher who has a better record against a club active is Randy Johnson, who is 11-0 against the Chicago Cubs. And Martinez headed for 11-0. He continues to throw as he is. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Wilson now at the 100 mark, 101 exactly, and has been in control after the Mariners scored in the first inning on a hit batsman, a base hit, and a sacrifice fly. Weekly hit to second base, and Todd Walker will make the play in a 1-2-3 inning. Pedro Martinez looking for his 9th win of the season in front, 5-1.
Recent test put motor oils to a punishing comparison involving extreme heat and stress beyond anything a car would ever face. The contestants, Castrol Syntec versus the leading 5W30 conventional oil.
Bob, what are the readings on the other car?
In the end, under these grueling conditions, Castrol Syntec performed better. Castrol Syntec. Everything else is just motor oil.
I've made a lot of news on the baseball diamond, but if you want to find out about this diamond, you got to go talk to your doctor.
Ready to try Viagra for the first time? See your doctor and find out if a free sample's right for you.
My doctor says it's right for me. That's why I stay with it. For more information, go to Viagra.com.
What do you call a chicken Caesar salad? When you lose the bowl, get it ready for the road, and put it on 2 of the biggest croutons you've ever seen? Burger King calls it the new Chicken Caesar Club. A salad in a sandwich. Come on over. The fire's ready.
Get ready for this summer's boldest new competition, where ordinary people with extraordinary voices become music's biggest stars. Don't miss performances as Britney Spears, Bon Jovi, Tina Turner, Elton John, Madonna, Ricky Martin, Cher, Christina Aguilera, and more. In the new series where the best impersonation wins a huge cash prize. Performing As premieres Tuesday, August 26th on Fox.
And the Red Sox fans out in force a long way from New England, and Pedro Martinez has completed his work for the day, and the most successfully, pitching 7 innings, striking out 7, giving up only 1 run.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's out of there, which I think that would be the smart move. This team has a lot more confidence in their bullpen now. Scott Williamson will probably come in. They've got Sauerbeck out there. They have BK Kim. He'd come in and close things down, and we talked about it a lot. I think he's a 7-inning pitcher. He's got 102 pitches under his belt right now. He'll be a better starter his next time out if you get him out of there now.
Manny Ramirez hits a ground ball right to third baseman Bloomquist, who makes the play, 1 out. And you just mentioned, as Pedro leaves the game after 7 innings, that all 3 pitches that you just mentioned were not with the Red Sox at the All-Star break or right before it. They were all acquired. Sauerbeck, Williamson, and Kim. And that is part of the idea to strengthen the bullpen. Williamson, who was acquired from the Cincinnati Reds, and will be coming in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's Kevin Millar, who's had a big game on the first pitch, slices one to right field. Ichiro over there got a good jump on it and makes the catch for out number 2. So the Red Sox making a lot of deals, as many clubs have in their big push to the pennant.
All these teams trying to make moves to get better for the playoffs. All these guys here with the Red Sox are the guys that you mentioned. Theo Epstein trying to shore up some of the problems that he had in his bullpen. This team took a lot of heat for the bullpen by committee early in the season because there was a few blown saves, and I'll tell you, I don't think it's a bad idea. You just have to have the talent to do it. Now they do. Earlier in the season, I don't believe they did.
And the other thing about the Red Sox, and Theo Epstein telling us yesterday before the game, he says, you know, the Red Sox, believe it or not, have a budget. And he says the moves we make have to consider a budget that we have. And that may not be the case with every club, but for the Red Sox it is, as Varitek misses 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's a big budget.
And on the other hand, as Varitek hits a bounding ball to second base, McLemore makes the play. 1-2-3 inning. On the other side, the Mariners have a pretty impressive general manager of their own in Pat Gillick. And we'll be back to talk about him when we go to the bottom of inning number 8.
Hey, are you ready for an unbelievable experience? Yeah, you're going where there is no up or down. Mach 3 Turbo. Total comfort, whether you shave down or up. An anti-friction coating on all 3 blades. Plus a strip with more lubrication, so even against the grain, you get less irritation and the closest shave. Can your razor do this? Mach 3 Turbo from Gillette, the best a man can get. Now win a VIP trip to a World Series game. See special Mach 3 Turbo packs.
You've been spotted. You've won.
This summer, get spotted with Aquafina for your chance to win pure cash. It's the Aquafina Pure Luck promotion. With over 3,000 winners a week, this could be your lucky water. Aquafina, purity guaranteed.
Since Cal Ripken's family got their new HP digital photography system from Radio Shack, things just haven't been the same.
Hey, Dad, guess who just moved in next door?
Who?
Ozzy.
Ozzy? Ozzy Smith? I haven't seen him since the fishing trip after the last All-Star game. Man.
Let Radio Shack show you how simple it is to shoot and print your own digital photos. Now save $75 when you buy an HP digital camera and HP photo printer.
Hey, Dad.
This isn't my Ozzy.
Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers.
Wanda's back for a new season, so don't be late.
I'll teach her to hawk his brush back.
Because timing is everything.
Wait for it.
The season premiere of Wanda at Large, Friday, September 19th on Fox.
This fall, take a break with the guy who just can't seem to catch one.
I have a nicer building if you would have given birth to a shortstop like a Dominican woman's supposed to. He'd be playing for the Yankees right now.
Please, he'd be half Puerto Rican. He'd be too lazy to practice.
Introducing Louie. Premieres Friday, September 19th on Fox.
Major League Baseball on Fox, presented by Radio Shack, is brought to you by Radio Shack, official sponsor of Major League Baseball. By Aquafina, the best things in life are pure. Aquafina, bottled water, purity guaranteed. By Gillette Mach 3 Turbo, for the closest shave with less irritation even against the grain. And by the new Fire Grilled Chicken Caesar Club at Burger King, the salad in a sandwich. 5-1, the Red Sox lead the Mariners as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning. And you talk about somebody proving themselves in many stops. Here is Pat Gillick, who had a champion in Toronto and very close to building one here in Seattle, Steve.
Well, I think he has set forth what the new blueprint for baseball teams are. Not as many very high-priced players, not the superstars, but a lot of really good players. They sign mid-tier free agents that are hungry to play and know how to play the game right.
Well, you know, they were almost tradeless in Seattle. You know, Jeff Nelson was kind of upset they didn't make the kind of a move, but they did get Sanchez beforehand, and he feels that he had the people he needed. Didn't have to get into the rash of trades that many of the other clubs did. And coming into this game, the Mariners with a 5-game lead over the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's leading in their game.
Quick picture of Brett Boone with the day off. And of course, the deal they made with Armando Benitez was really to make sure that Ray Sanchez had his barber back. A lot of controversy about him getting his hair cut while they were both with the Mets.
Or whether he got a shave or what. Well, here's Benitez, who has worn 3 different uniforms in a very short period of time. He was with the Mets, then the Yankees. Not very popular there, and maybe he will be with the fans here in Seattle. Scott Williamson, as Steve mentioned, coming on in relief of Pedro Martinez, who pitched 7 superb innings, and it's fouled off, and a broken bat by Bloomquist. There is Scott Williamson, the 27-year-old right-hander, acquired from the Reds, is not allowed to run in 7 of his 8 appearances so far.
ERA is up there a little bit right now, but those last few appearances that you just mentioned will bring that down. You know, I think Benitez will help this team as they move along, too. He's going to be a setup guy. Will not be the closer here. I think Hasegawa has proved himself in Kaz Suzuki's absence after the injury, breaking a couple ribs. After he fell in his suitcase, believe it or not, if you choose to believe that story or not.
What was in that suitcase?
Yeah.
Would be the question here. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bloomquist with a new bat, takes inside. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. By the way, Sasaki, who had been the ace closer for the last couple of years, has come back and made 2 appearances. And the Mariners feel that they just want him to make a couple of more appearances, not in a closer role. But Sasagawa has been brilliant.
He's still trying to get the velocity back on that fastball. And you're right, Shiggy has been outstanding. His ERA is minuscule. He's done a great job in the closing role. And I don't think Bob Melvin's in any hurry to change that. And neither would I be.
Things are working. I mean, this is a club that had their lead shaved, now up 5 games over the Oakland A's, who are leading 6-2 in the 8th inning against Toronto. And maybe the Mariners will avoid that August and September slump that really plagued them last year. A's, of course, with a big winning streak, played a role in that. Chopper up the middle, and the play made by Todd Walker cannot. He cannot get it out of his glove, and so Bloomquist on with an infield hit. 4th hit of the game for the Mariners to start the 8th inning. And take a look at deeper into what Pat Gillick has achieved with his ball club since coming over. Pretty good.
Oh, the winning percentage. Yeah, I mean, those are pretty good rankings. The guy knows what he's doing. He's done a good job. He doesn't care about us talking about him anymore. That's why he's leaving.
He doesn't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
He said, we're down 5-1. I don't want to hear about how things are good. Ichiro coming up. Well, he's been on base 3 times with a hit batsman, fielder's choice, and a walk. Has scored the only run the Mariners have back in the 1st inning. And Williamson pitching outside. So Pedro goes 7, and this is where the Red Sox can't have struggles, you know, with their setup people. And so it's incumbent upon, for their opinion, for Williamson to get the job done.
No question. You would think that the Mariners would have a better offensive situation not having to face Pedro anymore, even though I still think getting Pedro out of the game was the smart move for the Red Sox to do.
And lined out of play to the left, and that's Ichiro, who doesn't draw that many walks. He's a free swinger at the plate, and Williamson will go to work with him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Remember, Brett Boone not in the lineup today, getting a day off. Bob Melvin, who had been ejected, telling us that he's only had 2 days off. What better day than today? Hit his 30th home run last night, and 96 runs batted in, and of course the injury to Mike Cameron. So 2 of their big bats silenced today.
I think you'll see Boone in this game somewhere if there's a chance to drive in more than 1 run with a big swing of the bat. All right, this ballpark is so big. A lot of guys, as I said earlier in the game, I think left here because of that. I think Boone says it has made him a better player.
Batting in the right field for a base hit. Reaching out was Ichiro, and now the Mariners with runners at 1st and 2nd. And the crowd getting into it. It's been a while since they've had anything to cheer about, but Seattle with runners at 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Ray Sanchez coming up in a conference at the mound.
Just a base hit in the right field. The kid knows how to do this. Gets his bat on the ball. As we talked about before, will keep his bat in the hitting zone longer than anybody else in the league.
And activity starts again in the Red Sox bullpen. So Williamson coming in here in the 8th inning. And there is Kim, E.K. Kim, who picked up a big save against the Oakland A's the other day. Has been very effective in his last 2 appearances. He was acquired from the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the deal then said Shea Hillenbrand to Arizona. So here's Sanchez, 1 for 3 with a single. Red Sox at double play depth with a 4-run lead, and Williamson's first pitch is up high.
And I think that's why you're not seeing a guy like Boone come up and hit for Sanchez right here. This has been one of Bob Melvin's hottest hitters since he came over. He's done a nice job today getting his bat on the ball, and even a 3-run homer doesn't tie the game for you. I don't think you'll see Boone until you got a situation where if he hits a home run, either ties the game or puts the Mariners ahead.
And the 1-0, Sanchez fouls it off to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Kim has been joined by Alan Embry, the left-hander, who was very impressive. There is the submarine delivery of Kim and the left-hander Embry working in the Red Sox bullpen. Red Sox have 3 left-handers that they can call upon if necessary out of the pen. 1 ball and 1 strike. here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 on, nobody out for Seattle, and the slider misses up high. Ray Sanchez, who is hitting .236 for the Mets and is averaged now at .327, has been a savior, especially with the injury to Guillen. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and he chased that one, evens the count at 2-2. Mariners trying to stage a rally here in the 8th inning, and this capacity crowd has not had much to cheer about. Early on they did, when Seattle scored in the 1st inning, but it's been all Pedro and all Red Sox since then. Williamson checking the runners, and the 2-2 pitch, and fouled out of play. Bloomquist the runner at second. Ichiro on at first. Ichiro reaching 4 times today. There's Bloomquist, the former football player, and Ichiro, John Moses, the first base coach for the Mariners. The 2-2, and he got him. He offered at it, and Sanchez strikes out. Well, despite the strikeout, Sanchez has been a big plus, and Brett Boone talking about what Ray Sanchez has meant to the Mariners.
With Carlos being injured and not knowing exactly when he's going to come back, Ray has been a huge addition for us to come in and fill in the void at shortstop. And you know, I know he's having a tough offensive year over there in New York, but I've watched this guy hit for years, and he's got a great approach up there, and he's done a great job for us since he's come over.
And he's done the job as defensively, which is the #1 priority, Steve. And
he's as good as they come defensively. And if you talk to a lot of the players on the Red Sox ball club, they'll tell you that as he played second base for the Red Sox last season, he's been the best defensive second baseman that organization has had. You can go all the way back to Marty Barrett.
Red Sox have had a bunch. Last year they used 5 different second basemen in that position, settling on Todd Walker this time. Meanwhile, Randy Wynn with an opportunity, with the count 1-0 and 1 out. And Wynn fouls it out of play. Wynn hitting in the 3rd position. And on deck is Edgar Martinez. Mariners have not gotten the job done with runners in scoring position. And you go back to the key inning, which was the 3rd, with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out, and Pedro striking out both Sanchez and Wynn to end that thread.
That pitch right there that Wynn fouled off may be the best pitch you'll see in this at bat. I don't think you'll see another fastball in the inner half of the plate. I don't think Williamson wants to throw him anything that he can pull into the right field seats. If he beats him, he wants him to beat him in left field, where there's a little less power and a little harder to go out that way.
Scott Williamson in relief of Pedro Martinez. 1 out, and the 1-1 pitch swung on and missed on the curveball. Good curveball by Williamson.
And here's the pitch that he fouled off. This is the fastball that's probably going to be the best pitch you'll see in that at bat. That's right in Wynn's wheelhouse. Fouled it off. Now he looked at that nasty slider right there, and down in the count 1 and 2. There's a lot of options for Williamson here to get Wynn out.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Wynn, who's driven in the only Mariner run of the game. And it's down low, 2-2. Embry and Kim would be ready if Grady Little makes the call to the bullpen. Little very calm, does not push the panic button. And that's also been part of a success in a town that many people, you know, go off the deep end when the Red Sox begin to slump.
He's been great for this team. Sometimes you have to bump him to make sure he's still awake. I mean, that's how calm the guy is.
I personally think that's what you want in a manager. You don't want a fiery guy as much.
He's got Kevin Millar doing that for him.
Right. Williamson taking his time. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and a bounding ball hit handled beautifully by Miller. Steps on third for one, and not in time at first base, but Miller on a hot shot. And bending over right now. He took that hard hit one hopper right at him, and had presence of mind to make the play and step on third and get the force on Bloomquist, the lead runner.
Well, that was just a bullet. It looked like Miller was trying to get his head out of the way to make sure that if that thing came up on him, that's just sticking your guts in front of a ball, Dick.
Right in the solar plexus.
Or lower.
Right. So to speak.
Yeah. That may have been, you know, good thing he's wearing the protective gear down there.
And last night, Nomar Garciaparra had a bad hop hit him in the shoulder, and that was at the same at-bat that Ichiro ended up hitting a grand slam home run. And here is Edgar Martinez with 2 outs and runners at first and second. Martinez today has been on base once by virtue of a base on balls.
This infield is great to field ground balls off of.
And both runners go, and the pitch is taken, and a double steal. And the Red Sox didn't even muster a look or a throw. So the double steal. Ichiro going to third and Wynn to second.
Great jump by Ichiro. No one really paid that much attention. That should be a stolen base because Miller did cover the bag. No way that you get him on that because Williamson really didn't give him a 2-look over there.
And the count 1-0 to Edgar Martinez, and a bounding ball to the right side, gloved by Walker, and makes the play to retire Martinez. And the Mariners leave 2 more in scoring position. We go to the 9th here at Safeco Field. It's the Red Sox over the Mariners 5-1.
There are ordinary disposable razors, but now there's new Sensor 3 from Gillette. Totally new handle, 3 blades, on springs that adjust to your face. No disposable shaves better. It could be the best disposable you ever threw away. New Gillette Sensor 3.
No more biking for you.
Boy. Oh. It's the moment of choice, Tylenol or Advil. Doctors nationwide choose Advil most for strains and sprains. Advil gives you longer-lasting relief than Tylenol on tough muscle pain. Advance to Advil.
What do you call the perfect chicken Caesar salad? After you lose the bowl, make it ready for the road. Easy to grab. And put it on 2 of the biggest croutons you've ever seen. At Burger King, we call it the new Chicken Caesar Club. We start with hand-tossed romaine, shaved Parmesan, and Caesar dressing, and add juicy fire-grilled chicken, bacon, and tomato, all on toasted sourdough bread. Like a salad in a sandwich, only at Burger King. Come on over. The fire's ready.
Whew, boy, those blades of grass must get mighty thirsty standing out there in the sun all day long. As soon as you give them one drink, they're ready for another. Boy, you know what that's like. Lucky for you, there's also a light way to live, the high life.
We're here to learn how to trust our wireless phones, which is hard because we've all been hurt before, haven't we? Johnny? We're accepting that our phones are unreliable, that some features work here and not over there. That's not helping. Try hugging the phone, not choking it.
Okay. Sprint is different. All your services work the same wherever you go on the most complete, all-digital wireless network in the nation.
Like voicemail and email?
Even clear calls. I think we just made a breakthrough.
PCS from Sprint. Try the nation's most complete wireless network.
It's a Fox NFL preseason special. The Bill Parcells era is on in Big D, while Bettis leads the Steelers' high-powered offensive attack. It's a primetime special Thursday on Fox.
It is the 9th inning here in Seattle. The Red Sox leading the Mariners 5-1. They called on Pedro Martinez to come back and be the stopper. And he has been that this afternoon, going 7 innings, and Brian Sweeney doing a pretty good job in relief of Joel Pinheiro. Gets Gabe Kapler to look at strike 1.
Excellent job considering it's his major league debut.
And retiring the first 7 batters that he has faced as Kapler takes the ball 1-1. Kapler 1 for 3 with a single. So Brian Sweeney has to feel very good. The 6'2", 185-pounder from Yonkers, New York, Said he was 10-10 as a starter, but in 6 relief appearances was just over a run a game for his ERA. Misses inside, and the count 2-1 to Kapler. Red Sox have 9 hits today, and the Mariners have 5. In the beginning for the Red Sox, the third, when they scored 3 runs to break a 1-1 tie.
I just thought Sweeney had some great things to say when they called him up. I mean, he's clearly excited to be here, and he said, you know what? You know, people don't understand how tough it is to get here. Been doing this since '96.
Bounding ball foul down the left field line, and you know, when you work so hard, and of course you played and you were in the minor leagues, you wonder whether the chance is ever going to come.
You spend that much time in the minor leagues. This kid's 29 years old now as a rookie. That's old as rookies go, but can't change anything now. He's in the books.
And 3-2 to Kapler. Lifts a fly ball, and that's drifting out of play. So the count will remain 3-2.
Yeah, there are so many guys in this game, Dick, that play the game their whole life and never make it to the big leagues. I mean, God forbid something bad happens to them in the offseason, but I used to think all the time, geez, if I could just get to the big leagues, even if I got hit by a truck in the offseason, they would always have to say major league player behind my name.
You would be in the baseball encyclopedia. They couldn't take that away from you. There's a liner that will be foul down the left field line. One-handed shot that time by Gabe Kapler. Seattle Mariners, you look at the scoreboard, the Toronto Blue Jays coming back in the 9th inning. It's 6-4 Oakland.
See that? Kapler got fooled on that pitch a little bit, just threw his hands through the hitting zone and one-handed it down the line.
Again, working 3-2 to Gabe Kapler, and he's on. So the first base runner given up by Brian Sweeney, leadoff man on. And here is today's All-State Good Hands Defensive Player of the game. It wasn't that long ago, and it was this shot hit to third base. Miller didn't get the double play, but made a great stop over there.
How about that? You have to be really good if you get the All-State Good Hands Defensive Play of the game and you don't even use your hands to field the ball.
Right. Well, whatever it takes to block the ball.
You got it.
And I mean whatever it takes.
And that's third base too. Stick your guts in front of it. That's what Miller did.
Todd Walker.
Don't call it the hot corner for nothing.
Down low, ball 1. Walker 0 for 3, but has a run batted in. And last night, Walker did not get a base hit and drove in 2 runs. So he is showing that you can be productive without reaching base safely. And the runner goes, and the hit and run on, and Kapler was running, and Walker fouls it off. 1-1.
Now here's the play we talked about from last night. Look at that bad hop that Nomar took. Bounced up off his collarbone. This is not the play or the reason why he's out of the game today. He's had lower back spasms. That started hurting him last week on a ball that he dove for earlier in that ball game last night is where it really flared up on him.
1 ball and 1 strike. Throw to first base. Speaking about Nomar, and his brother Michael was drafted by the Seattle Mariners and is in their farm system right now. So there is another Garcia Parra in the offing. He was a first-round draft pick a couple of years ago. He's hitting .243 for their Class A Wisconsin farm club. Big cut and a miss on the off-speed pitch by Walker in the count 1-2. And we know that Nomar is going to be married to Mia Hamm, the celebrated soccer star. And so the 2 Garcia Parras will be part of that wedding party.
Nomar, a huge soccer fan, a huge, excellent soccer player himself.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3. Fastball on the inside corner, and Walker goes down. And that is the first major league strikeout for Brian Sweeney. And there's 1 gone here in the 9th.
Nothing special about this. Just a good inside fastball in on the hands. Gets the call.
And Damian Jackson now facing Brian Sweeney with 1 out. In what is a very somber and quiet Safeco Field. That wasn't the way it was last night. It was a show. It was spectacular with the fans getting into the act.
Biggest crowd of the year, and the wild, crazy game. Ridiculous 6th inning.
Ichiro hitting the grand slam home run. Hasegawa getting the big outs. There's a line drive to center field by Jackson. His second hit of the game. And holding at second is Gabe Kapler. And, you know, Bob Melvin has said, they were talking about it, that the fans here, this is not the day for it, the fans have been a big plus. They have really urged on the Mariners to the kind of home record that you were talking about. And you have to remember that the Mariners are pretty impressive on the road as well at 36-22. Not far behind the Yankees, who have won 40 games on the road this year.
Well, this had been a long-suffering Mariner organization. Teams that did not win. Slow but sure, this organization absolutely has turned itself around, and now it's a big drawing card here. Tough to get a ticket to a game.
One ball, no strikes with one out. A's and Blue Jays in Oakland battling in the 9th inning in a game that both teams here are interested in. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and Trot Nixon misses it. Nixon 0 for 4, and 1-1 the count to Nixon. Nixon slated to lead off this game even before Nomar had to be scratched because Johnny Damon couldn't go. And a big cut and a miss by Nixon, and it's 1-2.
That's a pretty impressive game so far by the Red Sox, considering you talk to Grady Little, he'll tell you that right now his team is pretty banged up, with Damon with the hamstring, Nomar with the bad back. He says they're really looking forward to Monday's off day when they get home.
And they've got 7 games next week against these clubs. Nixon reaches out and lifts a fly ball right field. Ichiro going back on the warning track, makes the catch. Tagging up and going to third is Kapler. Going back to first is Jackson. And so there are 2 out. And right now, here's Jeannie Zelasco with a game break. Jeannie.
And a kink in the armor or arm of the A's. Maybe Tim Hudson took a line drive off his right wrist in the 7th inning versus Toronto. He was taken to the hospital for precautionary measures. We'll get some x-rays. Oakland, though, got the 6-4 victory.
All right, Jeannie, and let's take a look at the standings right now. And the Red Sox 70-52.
Boy, how big could that be for the Oakland A's if Tim Hudson has any bigger problems, if that ball cracked a bone in there. Talk about the matchup with Hudson and Nomar 5 days ago. Hudson really did, I mean, not Nomar, Pedro Martinez. Hudson outpitched Pedro in that game. Won it 4-0.
1-0 with 2 out. 5-1 with runners at first and third. And 1 ball and 1 strike to Miller, who's 3 for 4 today with 3 singles. So the Red Sox hold on. They will maintain their 1-game lead over the Oakland A's in the wild card derby. And the A's will pick up a game on the Seattle Mariners in the battle in the American League West.
Could be at a heavy price, though. Nobody outpitched Pedro today, that's for sure.
Pedro has had the magic against the Seattle Mariner club, especially here at Safeco Field. 5-0 with 0.68 earned run average coming into this game. And if the Red Sox go on and hold their lead, Martinez will remain undefeated against the Mariners. They'll face Seattle 4 times at Fenway Park next week before the Oakland A's come to Boston.
I think it's so fun to watch Pedro pitch because you can learn so much from him. If you're a young pitcher or the next day's starting pitcher charting the game, I mean, he pitches inside, he pitches with determination, doesn't give in to hitters. He's got great stuff, and he's a competitor.
And the 1-2 pitch setting up on the outside part of the plate was Wilson, and Miller staying alive. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kapler, the runner at third base. Damian Jackson at first. 2 down here in the 9th inning. And the 1-2 and inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brian Sweeney, the second pitcher for the Mariners today. Joel Pinheiro, who had lost a couple in a row after winning 8 straight. He had been one of the hot pitchers for the Seattle club, along with Jamie Moyer, struggling again, and gave up 5 runs on 9 hits and 5 2/3. 2-2 and off-speed breaking ball. 3-2. On deck is David Ortiz.
Well, Miller's had some great at-bats today, and that wasn't a bad pitch right there by Sweeney, but he's got to come up with something big right here. He cannot let the Red Sox tack on any more runs this late in the game.
3 balls, 2 strikes, and the runner at first, Jackson, is off in a ground ball, gloved by Olerud nicely, and he makes the play to Sweeney. John Olerud, the Gold Glover, saves a run perhaps as the Red Sox take the 5-1 lead. Mariners coming up.
It's a crucial showdown in the NL. The Phillies are battling to keep their postseason hopes alive, but the Cardinals are chasing the top spot in the Central.
To deep left field, this one is out of here.
Fox Saturday Baseball next week.
The nation's hottest group is now complete.
The next pop sensation, America.
Fox Tuesday. It's an all-new special when the juniors perform in concert with some of music's biggest stars.
You're in for an incredible show.
Plus, don't miss an extraordinary duet with Ruben Studdard. American Juniors Concert Special at 8/7 Central, Fox Tuesday.
It's a Fox NFL preseason special as 2 teams with something to prove square off. The Bill Parcells era is on in Big D, while Jerome Bettis and the Steelers hope to erase the memories of last year's playoff loss. It's a primetime special Thursday on Fox.
It's the summer's newest competition where ordinary people with extraordinary voices become music's biggest stars. With Britney Spears, Bon Jovi, Madonna, Christina Aguilera, and more. And the best impersonation wins a huge cash prize. Performing As premieres Tuesday, August 26th on Fox.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
The new MLB Authentic Collection Performance batting practice jerseys and caps are here. Now anyone can get them. Just visit MLB.com. Young Kim has come in for the Red Sox to finish it off. And Kim, who was acquired for Shea Hillenbrand in that late May deal in Arizona, pitched Thursday to pick up the victory, retiring all 6 batters he faced in the 9th and 10th, and slowly getting his rhythm as the closer for the Red Sox team.
9 saves for this team. He's the franchise leader in saves for the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is a guy who actually wants to be a starting pitcher. Starting pitcher on the Korean national team before he came here, and does an outstanding job as a closer, but he wants the ball every 5th day.
I understand he actually grew up wearing a Boston Red Sox cap in Gwangju in South Korea, so he might have had an omen as Olerud fouls it out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. Very tricky with that submarine delivery and all sorts of sliders. As you see, the Red Sox at 5.07 have the 3rd highest bullpen earned run average, thus the moves made by Theo Epstein.
BK a little tougher on right-handed hitters than he is on the lefties, but with a hard sinking fastball, good slider, decent changeup.
Here's the 0-2 to Olerud, and off the fist, shallow to left field. Ramirez makes the catch, and there's 1 away. And right now, here's Jeannie Velasco with a game break.
And the Marlins are thinking wild card. San Diego's Gary Bennett thinking home run. Gary got his wish, 2-run shot, 2nd of the season, off Florida phenom Dontrell Willis. It is the Padres 3, the Marlins 1, top 5.
All right, so the Florida Marlins, who are battling the Philadelphia Phillies, among other clubs, for the wild card. What a great story that has been for the Florida Marlins, as Mark McLemore takes a strike on the inside corner. Jack McKeon taking over, and the team is something like 21 games over 500 since he has taken over. Willis a big part of that, but today the Padres have the measure of the Marlins 3-1. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning as Kim tries to nail it down for the Red Sox. Not a save situation, of course, as the pitch comes in low and away, 1-2.
He's just out there to make sure they finish this thing up. Nail it down for Pedro, which has been a problem for this team all season long.
And the 1-2, and McLemore strikes out. And now the Mariners down to their last out. So coming in, the story of this game in the battle of musical chairs. Well, 3 would get seats and 1 would be standing when it's all said and done. And as a result of today, the Red Sox with the 2 out of the 9th inning facing John Mabry, looking to hold their 1-game lead in the wild card race over Oakland. And of course the Yankees will play later. And still 5 games down in the loss column to New York. Meanwhile, the Mariners find their AL West advantage cut to 4 games. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 out and just missing outside. And the 1-1 and a check swing. Producer of today's game, Michael Wiseman. First worked with him back at 75 in the World Series. Director Jim Lynch, Associate Director Kathy Hunt, Broadcast Associate Kevin Dresser. Our technical producers Dan Rotante. Studio produced by Gary Lang, directed by Bob Levy. Here's the 2-1 pitch and a foul at the plate. The Associate Director is Jennifer Love. The Senior Producer of the studio show is Scott Ackerson. The studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. And the executive producers are David Hill and Ed Gorin. Thanks to Chris Visser for assisting us up in the booth this afternoon. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And Kim with the pitch, foul back. And Steve, great to work with you. Had a lot of fun this afternoon. We had to make up for, you know, the crowd knowing that their team wasn't in it for the most part.
Yeah, and I think sometimes one of the most difficult things for broadcasters to handle is the late changes when Nomar goes out of the lineup and they totally change everything around, and it's been fun anyway.
Well, we've had a beautiful day in a great ballpark, and we have 2 teams that are going to be fighting tooth and nail down the stretch. And the pitch is down low to John Mabry. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Red Sox trying to even this series at 1-1. Go 3-3 on this trip. And you look at this great crowd. And, you know, they'll be back over 3.5 million. They'll be back tomorrow and the rest of the year. Ball 4, and Mabry gets a 2-out walk from Kim.
Well, if there's one knock on BK Kim, it's the fact that he sometimes has problems throwing strikes.
And we're going to see a pinch hitter. Ben Davis will be coming up to hit for Dan Wilson. So Ben Davis, those are his numbers. And if Davis should keep it going, Brett Boone grabs a bat and he's on deck. So here's Davis, who is 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter this year. Ball went inside. Kim is missing, and just missing on the inside and outside with any of his pitches.
Trying to get in on the left-handers there, but it's better for him if he misses with that pitch in, because if he misses out over the plate, it becomes a very easy pitch for the left-handed hitters to hit.
Here is the 1-0 pitch, and that is missing. 2 balls and no strikes. And Kim, looking down at Steve Ripley, wanted that one.
Yeah, he did want that one for a strike.
Davis can reach base. We'll see Brett Boone come up and pinch hit, giving the Mariners a shot. And 3 balls and no strikes. So Kim is having control problems here, and Boone getting set for an opportunity here. It's 5-1. So even if Davis were to reach base, Boone would still not be the tying run at the plate. But the Mariners trying to stage a 2-out threat. There's a fastball strike, 3-1. Young Kim, 24-year-old submarine pitcher, and a fastball and a good pitch to hit by Davis. Fouls it back, and it's 3-2.
Guy has a little bit of control problems. If you're the hitter and you know he's trying to get back into a rhythm, you get a 3-1 pitch, you're pretty much looking for something dead red right down the middle. He got it and fouled it back. That's the pitch that has caught more of the strike zone than any ball that Kim's thrown up there so far today.
So 3-2, and the runner is off on the 3-2 pitch, and it's grounded foul. So John Mabry was running, and first baseman Kevin Millar playing deep and guarding the line at first. So they'll do it again with the count full. There's the runner, John Mabry. And Ben Davis trying to keep the Mariner hopes slim as they may be alive here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Runner goes, and strike 3, and the ball game is over. And Ben Davis is caught looking, and the Red Sox have nailed it and defeat the Mariners 5-1, tying the game in the second after trailing 1-0, 3 in the third, adding 1 in the 6th.
Just no question today. Just a dominating performance by Pedro Martinez with the 7 innings that he threw, and that was the story.
Martinez now goes 11-0 against the Seattle Mariners, and 9-3 on the year. For more information on today's game and for the latest information on Major League Baseball, go to foxsports.com. Next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, the Red Sox and Mariners battle again, this time at Fenway, plus other regional action. It all begins with This Week in Baseball at 12:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. So the final score, the Boston Red Sox defeat the Seattle Mariners 5-1. So for Steve Lyons, I'm Dick Stockton saying so long from Seattle. You've been watching Fox Sports, home of Major League Baseball postseason and the 2003 World Series. So long, everybody.